Coming to you live from Roy Story Stadium in Radcliffe. I'm David Gary along with John Schartzer. It's Friday Night Lights. We are going to have a good time tonight, John, and this is a fun time of year.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely. I'm ready to see these two teams get going and see what happens.
John Hardin in white with the red pants set to kick off from the left of your television to the right. North Hardin, the Trojans set to receive, and we are underway. The rivalry has begun. Kickoff return taken at the goal line. A good return, gets a couple of rods coming up the left side of the field. A strong return, number 5 for North Hardin, cuts inside, takes it all the way to the house, and that's how he opened this one. That's a touchdown, John. That didn't take long at all.
Not at all. That's definitely how you want to start a football game. 20, 30, 40, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. I'd say the Trojans feeling pretty good right now, Dave.
Well, when you're John Hardin, that's not how you want to draw it up defensively. You don't want to give up a touchdown on the first play of the game. But North, they came out talking about how they got a score to settle because they didn't like how last season ended. They started off strong, and it trickled down to losses, including a playoff loss that some of these guys that returned from last year are still feeling. And look at that. They come right out and score. 6-0 to score. 15 seconds into this game, kick is up and does not have the mojo. I think it was blocked at the line, John, and the kick actually bounced off the crossbar, and the PAT is not good.
No, that's definitely got to pull out some of that momentum the Trojans were building up, but luckily for them, it's still early. John Hardin gets a break here. You
and I were talking a little bit about the kicking game. Last year, they had one of the best kickers around in Guillory, and he was blasting balls from, I would see him in warm-up teeing up at like the 40 and hitting easy 50-yarders. And so the kicking game last year was a stronger asset for North Hardin than it was this year. But nonetheless, hey, talk about the kick return game. They put points on the board immediately, and they haven't even had to run a play.
Right, that's something that, like I said, they're definitely feeling good right now. John Hardin, it hurt them bad. So let's see if they can come out here and return the favor.
Unofficially, 101-yard return for a touchdown. That's not a bad way to kick off a rivalry game, or not necessarily kick off, but return the kickoff of the rivalry game.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I mentioned Guillory, or he played for the other team, but it's week one for me as well. North Hardin going to kick off. Ruggiero, he's one of the stronger kickers in the area. This guy can punt, and when you can punt, you can change the field position of a game, and you can change the outcome of the game too.
Right. Special teams as a whole is something that I feel is very underrated in football. That field position means way more than people give it credit for.
Deep kick by Ruggiero. That's about as perfect a kickoff as you can get. Pinning it down in the corner. Here's the return for John Hardin. And are these teams really going to do this? Here we go. It's Ruggiero's chance to stop the return, and we have got back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns. John Hardin says we can do that too. Challenge accepted, and takes it to the hizzo.
What a start to this season. That is wild.
I don't know the last time I've seen that happen, John, and just like that, we're tied.
Oh, yeah, that's a first for me, I do believe.
Stephen Livers with the return. It was a great kickoff, a corner shot, just poor coverage there. And Livers, I told you, John, before the game that Livers is one of the most exciting players in this area. And, he's a big play guy. Just like that, the rivalry is back on. Will the offense ever take the field in this one?
I was just thinking that. We haven't had to call very many plays tonight.
We a little backstory. We had to relocate from where we were, from right of the press box to the left of the press box. Sat down real quick, and just when we got set up, they returned a kickoff for a touchdown. And just now that we're getting settled in, John Hardin comes and brings the kickoff back. So they make their extra point. That's where Guillory would have come in handy here, but they've actually got a kicking game so far. They made their PAT, and that's the difference right now. 7-6 is the score. Livers unofficially with an 88-yard kickoff return for touchdown.
And we are, what, 50, 40, 33 seconds in?
Yeah, I'm going to call this underway, John. This is
It's gonna be a wild night, it feels like.
Well, here we go. Of course, whoever's in charge of that coverage team for John Hardin's already going to have a pep talk with him. Let's yeah, this makes for good tape, right?
Let's see if they can make it 3 for 3. I don't think so.
Little backstory on this, these teams know each other, and the people on either side of this field know each other. There's no love lost between these teams, and they're not in the same class, so when they play each other, it's not just for fun, it's for keeps.
Oh, this game definitely means something.
It counts. Last year, North Hardin went over to John Hardin and kind of humiliated them. 25-10 was the score, but it was a game that John Hardin could have won and just didn't, and John Hardin took that and improved on it for the rest of the season. North Hardin started off strong. Here's a short high kick. They're not playing around this time, having anybody return this one.
Yeah, they weren't going to give that one a chance.
You give a short little pooch and hope one of the linemen grab it, and maybe you can make something happen. But those big guys usually aren't rumbling and stumbling for 75 yards and a score.
Typically not. Looks like pretty good field position to start off this way, too. See if they can get the offense moving.
1st and 10, North Hardin's first offensive series will start at the 32. Their quarterback is the talented junior Moore. We saw a bunch of him last season, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the table this year.
Lavelle Wright on the carry.
It's like nothing going here.
Lavelle Wright, number 7, the first carry for him on the ball game.
2nd and 9 for the Trojans.
2nd and 9. Moore brings his team back to the huddle. They work quick when they want to. They try to keep the same unit on the field defensively by breaking the huddle quick. Moore out of a modified shotgun. He's going to throw the ball outside right. Not caught. Instead, intercepted by John Hardin. And that's a ball that Lavelle Wright probably wishes that he had back.
Flag on a play.
We got a little bit of piling on, a little bit of chippiness early. Wright, freshman. Ball was thrown there, just went right off the hands of the intended receiver and right into a white jersey.
The funny thing is, before the game, I was watching John Hardin actually run a tip drill. North Hardin run the tip drill, and John Hardin pulls it off on him.
John Hardin's going to take the over possession. They're going to go back a little bit. There was a little bit of nonsense at the end of that game, at the end of that play. We're not going to give it a whole bunch of glory by talking about it, but that's why they're moving backwards right now. John, when you got a rivalry game, you got to keep your head in the game.
Yes, you do. You can't allow things to get you going, get in your own head or let them get in your head. That could cost you big time with penalties and mistakes. Let's see if John Hardin can get the ball moving now. See if they can make something happen. John
Hardin answered the opening kickoff return with a kickoff return of their own for a touchdown. They lead 7-6 right now. This year's quarterback, Anthony Witherspoon, played a little wide out last year. He's going to be throwing the rock this year. He's a threat to run on every play, and an incredibly athletic individual. He should be fun to watch today as well.
Looks like they almost got North Hardin offside.
Witherspoon takes a snap, hands it off to the guy who brought one back to the house earlier, Stephen Livers, and Livers goes around the right end. That is a play John Hardin loves to run, and they have great success doing it. Either they get a decent gain or they take it for a huge gain on that. That inside slot receiver end around works for him.
Oh yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You find something works for you, write it out.
And that play doesn't work unless you get a bunch of guys doing their job all at the same time. The one thing you could say about John Hardin is they have great offensive line play. They've got big guys, and just being a big guy is not going to make it work. You actually got to have to block the guy that you're supposed to, and they do a fine job of that.
Yeah, if you can get big and talent, that's a deadly combination.
John Hardin goes to the left side. Looked like the run error was down earlier than they're giving him credit here. I thought he was down, coughed up the football. Trojans get the football.
What a game.
This is getting interesting fast, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 kickoff returns, interception, and now a fumble.
Josh Garrett with a carry, coughed up the football after a pop by a North Hardin Trojan. And now we're going the other way. Moore in the pistol. Takes a snap, thinking he's throwing. He does. He goes outside. He's got a receiver who's got yards enough for a first down and more. That's Jeremiah Bankhead. Speaking of Bankheads, Moore swapped quarterback duties with Jeremiah's brother last year, Isaiah, an incredibly talented young man who had an arm injury that pretty much put Moore in a position to hold on to that quarterback spot while Isaiah was getting healed. And Moore pretty much had the bulk of the snaps for the remainder of the season and did a fine job. Here he is. It's his job this year to hang on to for the remainder of the season, hopefully.
That was a tough run right there.
Tackled by McGregor.
Unless he had nothing going, got a few yards off of it still.
Hands it to Wright. 7 up the middle. Not much of a gain on the play, but a tough run. Didn't get taken down in the backfield. 2nd and 8, ball to 36. 9:22 to play. Got North Hardin with the football, trailing 7-6.
Starks on the carry.
Handoff to Starks. Gain of, I'm going to give him 4.5 yards.
Tackled by Diaz.
Should set up about a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5.
3rd and 4 for the Trojans.
3rd and 4, some 3rd and management.
North Hardin not afraid to throw the football, John. Sometimes we watch an entire high school game where 8 throws is a lot for a game. Last week, Moore threw the ball 28 times in a loss to Bowling Green, but they're not afraid to toss it, and here it is. Outside, making things happen, finding space. The toss is outside to number 10. That's Gary Love. He's a junior, and he's got a first down for the North Hardin Trojans. I like high school teams that throw the football. Why not?
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah, it's... You get tired of just running the ball every play. I mean, it works for some people, but
there's a lot of moving parts that got to work together to make it happen when you're throwing the football 28 times. And in high school, sometimes you don't have that. Sometimes you have no depth to the position either.
That's very true.
Handoff inside. Starks again. Keeping the play moving. You know, if you're watching the game on TV, or John, I'll even invite you to do this. If you want to have a good time, don't follow the football. Watch these big guys inside doing hand-to-hand combat. That's where the battle of this game is right now. It's the big guys fighting with each other on every down. There's big guys on both sides of the ball, and, yeah, they're earning every yard today.
Oh, definitely. Just like I said earlier, just like with special teams. Oh, another big one. And a first down again for North Hardin.
Gotta like Starks.
On the tackle.
You mentioned earlier on a gain of none, he earned every bit of real estate that he got back to the line.
Well, that play earlier, I thought he was stopping, gained 2 yards out of it, so he's definitely putting his head down and running that ball.
North Hardin's going to talk about this one here. 1st and 10, ball at the 33. As we take a break, I want to make sure that we give a shout out to some of the people that make this happen. Brandenburg Telecom provides service for all of your telecommunication needs. Also want to thank Physical Therapy Associates. More personal attention for more effective results with locations in E-Town, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville. You can find them online at physicaltherapyky.com. Today's broadcast is an HCEC-TV student production. It's a division of the Hardin County School System. Special thanks to our live sports coverage sponsors, Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, eTownApartments.com, Bluegrass Cellular, E-Town Exterminating, and West Point Bank. John Schartzer is a new addition to our broadcast team. I've been doing this the last couple of years. John, you've got a blog of your own that you want everyone to know about.
I do, yeah. We have cardsorcats.com. We cover our UK fans, U of L fans. You know, we're thinking about actually launching a branch for local high school sports. So that could be something that, you know, we're going to get started soon. So I think everybody will love it.
Right on. A little bit later, I'm going to ask you about an upcoming radio show that you got going, too. Interesting and fun stuff for sports fans out there. Back to live action. David Gary with John Schartzer out here at North Hardin High School. North Hardin with the football. It's 1st and 10. This run's going nowhere, John. That John Hardin front last year didn't give up a lot of rushing yards, and you're going to have to come a little more correct than that.
Yeah, there's a lot of big boys pushing that guy the wrong way. They were not having that one.
Called a gain of none. 2nd and 10, ball at the 22. Moore is your quarterback. He's a junior. He's going to be around for a bit unless they trade him away, which doesn't happen because it's high school sports. Here's a toss outside to Bankhead. He's trying to make something happen, and just like last year, this John Hardin Bulldog team swarms to the football, and they will tackle you quick. You got to make that move early. You can't think about what you're going to do, and if anything, Bankhead had a little hesitation there before he took off with the ball.
Sometimes those instincts have to kick in. You got to put it in overdrive and make a play.
You could have also seen a whole lot of white jerseys.
That's true.
I think it's definitely a possibility. Good crowd out here, still plenty of good seats. Some people trickling in at the last minute. You know, you got to like this atmosphere, John. You can smell the grill happening. The band's playing, cheerleaders are doing their thing.
You can taste the rivalry in the air.
There's a bit of rivalry, a little bit of not love happening.
You got to love it.
Got some alumni out. They're proud to rock their shirts from yesteryear. It's just a fun vibe to it. You got a penalty on the play. Marching it off. That's one way to get a first down when your short pass doesn't work.
That'll do it for you.
It's the second time that John Hardin has been whistled for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And if anything was their bane last year, it was themselves. They shot themselves in the foot in the proverbially, of course, in the matchup between these two teams last season at their house, and we're seeing a little more of the same here. A little bit of the chippiness that you see in rivalry games.
Right, and that speaks to that rivalry I was just speaking of. These guys, they're definitely amped up to be here right now.
1st and 10, ball at the 11. They can get a first down if they get it just inside the 1, but I'm expecting North to not fool around and toss one at the end zone here. They're not shy to throw the ball.
No, they're definitely most likely going for it here, but they don't lack confidence, that's for sure.
North Hardin's got the entire varsity and JV and a few guys that could fit in some uniforms rocking on the sideline here. There's definitely some depth here. Oh, and just as I say they're going to throw, they run it up the middle and doesn't fool anybody on that Bulldog defense.
Right on the carry.
Lost 2.
Tackle.
If I could say another thing about John Hardin's football team last season, when they needed a big play, they got it from some guys. And some of these guys are guys that are playing again this season. So let's see if somebody steps up here and thwarts this scoring opportunity. Moore rolls out right, zings one into the corner, incomplete. Intended receiver was Jeremiah Bankhead.
For Bankhead. 3rd and 12.
Let's set up 3rd and 12 now, John. This is a more difficult toss to score in the red zone, as they call it. People are expecting it.
Yeah, 3rd and long. This is something that, obviously they're expecting to pass here, and John Hardin's going to be ready for it.
North Hardin's going to be really ready for it as they take a timeout. They're second of the first half, and second on this drive. They're going to think about it here. Bulldogs leading this one 7-6. Want to talk about another one of our sponsors of the broadcast, West Point Bank. They have 5 offices located in E-Town, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. You can find them online as well at westpointbank.com. Let them help you make your life simpler. West Point Bank, hometown banking made simple. Well, now you get a chance, John, to, if this is your play call to make, what are you doing here?
I like that play that ran a minute ago, that front pylon, if he can just get his hands on it. Now, if they're expecting that again, obviously that's not going to work. Maybe you go to the back corner.
The offensive coordinator in me knows there's 3 more quarters in this football game. One of the plays I like to run is I'll put 4 receivers out there and I'll hit a draw play right up the middle because everybody in town is thinking they're throwing the ball into the end zone. And I'm going to take my chances for it. But if I don't have a kicker that can kick that field goal, at least get me 3 points out of this long drive, I might rethink that and throw that short pass out to one side or the other.
That's a good point. That missed PAT earlier is definitely in their head right now.
Close games come down to who has a better kicker or kicking game.
3rd and 12.
Not always is the same guy, the kicker and the punter, but we see that all too often where that's that guy's job. So far, the battle of the kicking team leans toward John Hardin. That's the difference of the game, 1 point. 6:25 to play. More with a 3rd and 12. Ball at the 13. They don't have to score, but they got to get it darn close to that goal line. Here we go. Pistol formation. Moore rolls out right. Doesn't really have a receiver open. He's under pressure. Takes a big hit and throws an interception. John Hardin might just take this one the other way for good yardage in there. He's going to be tackled at 33. What did I say a bit ago? I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but I said this Bulldog team, when they need to, makes big plays.
You did say
and
that.
There's some guys, and that's just kind of the culture of that defense out there, is make a big play, and that was a big play. Moore might want to bring that ball back and realize he could have just tossed that one out the back of the end zone. But not sure he had the receiver open either.
Yeah, it's a huge momentum swing for John Hardin. The Bulldogs don't capitalize on this one right now.
To have a long drive like that and come away with no points in the rivalry game, that hurts a little bit.
It's demoralizing.
First and 10, John Hardin at the 30-yard line.
This is the first season under Bulldogs head coach Chris Engstrand. He replaces Chad Lewis from last year, but I'll tell you what, there's some familiarity to what we're seeing. They're running some of the same plays, got some of the same looks out there, and not a whole lot has changed.
Yeah, I was reading an article the other day about it, and he said a lot of the stuff's going to stay the same. The verbiage is going to be a little bit different, but a lot of the offense is going to remain the same here.
John, we were talking, and the biggest guy on the football field, Octavius Oxendine, makes a tackle on that play. Keep an eye on him. He's a sophomore. He's big, and they tell me he's still getting bigger. And he's been known to make a big play or two, and sometimes you can't miss it because the impact of it you can hear from up here in the box.
Right, you have to keep an eye on him. Sometimes you don't have to keep an eye on him. He's just there.
He's just there, fakes to give outside, goes inside 25. That's Reinhauer. We're going to see him a bit today. He carries the tough yardage for the Bulldogs. And you got to respect that when you got both a big guy that's going to, pick up those 3-yard gains and those 4-yard gains, and you got a guy like Livers that can hit you for 80 yards on any given play. It's hard to figure out who's going to carry the rock. And you got Witherspoon, too, as the quarterback that can do things.
You got to love that smash and dash approach. One guy to bully it up and one guy to be your speedster.
Whereas North Hardin's throwing the rock all over. I haven't really seen it from John Hardin. They're running the football. Here's Witherspoon with a 3rd and 4. Watch for him to keep it himself. Here he is. He keeps it himself, and he picks up a gain of 10, 11 yards, and it's a triple threat right there. He can run, he can throw, and he can give it to somebody else.
That's twice now you've called a play.
All right.
If you don't pat yourself on the back, I will.
Okay.
That's impressive.
All right. I did call a play, however, that didn't happen. I would have liked to have seen the draw play. Maybe, North Hardin would have liked to run a draw play and not turn the ball over earlier. But nonetheless, first down for John Hardin. And if you just stay this weather for the remainder of football season, that would be great. But then some of the purists kind of like the rainy days. They kind of like the icy days that you see in playoffs. Here's Livers on the carry. He's exciting. He breaks out of a couple of tackles, Madden-esque style, and makes a big gain out of nothing. I mean, he was hitting X, he was hitting square,
and he hit
and
that B
circle,
button.
and a couple of different combos there. Dissed a couple people in the backfield, spun out of it, and comes up with a big gain. I'll tell you what, there's not a whole lot of size to that young man, but he makes things happen that are a lot bigger than he is.
Oh, yeah, that heart definitely is bigger than that body, it seems.
I don't care where you're from. That's exciting football right there. North Hardin wondering what happened. They're on the wrong end of a drive right now. Wrong end of the scoreboard. 7-6 is your score. I'm David Gary. John Schartzer with me. And we got a whole lot of football left in this game. We can only imagine what can happen.
Yeah, we do. And this game started out crazy, obviously, and it started to calm down a little bit, but they've got to do something here for the Trojans.
Delay a game penalty. I was starting to think, I just started talking because I was thinking there wasn't a whole lot of action going on.
That'll explain it.
They keep that on the field. One of the officials, that's their job, is to count to 40 on each play. And, well, they counted to 41 on that one. That moves John Hardin back a little bit. I expect him to stay safe here. Look for Reinhauer to keep the ball right up the middle. Nope. Instead, guess what? It's Reinhauer up the middle. I got fooled on that one. You don't know who's going to carry the ball, but that's a safe guess. If you go with the math with John Hardin, Reinheimer's going to get the ball a majority of the carries.
More often than not.
Kind of gets us back to the second down spot and 2nd and 9. Ball 45, 3 minutes to play. Witherspoon takes the snap. He's going to throw this time. Looks around, rolls out, might take off running. He does. And North Hardin says, no space for you. when you've got a mobile quarterback that you have to defend against, not only do you got to defend your zone, but you've got to be able to, as a defender, recognize, hey, that quarterback's about to take off.
Right, your DBs, everybody has to be. You can't take your eyes off of them. You don't know what's going to happen. If he tucks that ball, it could.
That mobile quarterback is so dangerous because as soon as he starts to float around to that side, you got to make a decision really quick. Am I going to tackle the quarterback, or am I going to leave my space and leave a guy wide open in it? And that's why a quarterback like Witherspoon is such a dangerous weapon. Look at him here. He just takes the snap and runs, but North Hardin's all over that.
Yeah, nothing going here.
Witherspoon on the carry.
John Hardin more successful when they've got multiple backs going on. When you got Livers coming out of the slot as a potential end around, you got a quarterback that could take off running, and you got Reinheimer that can run the ball up the middle with some authority. It's hard to make that read as a defender, but when your quarterback's solo with a 5 receiver set, you're not really fooling anybody. He's either going to run or throw.
Right.
You only got
two options. Right.
4th and 6. John Hardin not feeling punty here. Sometimes good to take that long count so you can get a free 5 yards. Witherspoon sits on the ball, tosses a soft toss out left, and it's incomplete. Pass was intended for number 13. That's Javon Blount. He's a senior. Javon Blount. Sorry to the Blount family. That incompletion is a turnover on downs. North Hardin will have an attempt to take their lead back. They marched earlier, only to have their drive stalled by a more interception thrown to Stephen Livers. It's been all about Livers for John Hardin in this first quarter. Here's Moore, and Moore is in trouble and sacked for a giant loss.
Definitely not the way the Trojans wanted to start that drive.
Sacked by Reeves on that play, and you know, we were bragging on the linemen earlier, and that time John Hardin's line wins. Little resistance, hard to throw the football when you're under a big guy.
Oh, yeah, you can't get that ball off that guy in your face.
Second and a long way, we'll call it 18 from North Hardin's 27. Moore not afraid to throw, does. Got a receiver wide open, it's Bankhead. Bankhead can make something happen once he has the football. Fumbles the football, and the toss-up who recovered it, I think recovered by North Hardin.
It appears that way.
Moore's pass is complete to Bankhead. Trojans get the ball back.
Trojans ball.
Gain of 6, 3rd and 12.
Still 3rd and long. Bankhead's got to protect the football when he's in space like that. I got on him earlier for not taking the ball upfield quicker, but that time he just got to protect. 3rd and 12, 34. Here's Moore going deep up the left side. Got a receiver and a catch. That's exciting football right there. They don't got video replay. If the refs say it's good, it's good. Number 80 down on the play. Hopefully he is okay. That was some exciting stuff right there.
That was a huge play. That's a huge momentum turn for the Trojans. Hopefully he gets up. Hopefully he's okay.
In fairness to the family of the young man that just made that catch, I don't have him on my roster. So we'll take a moment. He's down on the play, made a brilliant play on the field. We certainly hope that he's all right. Tune in weekly for rebroadcasts of all local HCEC-TV programs on Brandenburg Telecom and Comcast Cable Channel 2 and Spectrum Communications on Digital Television's Channel 12.33 and or using a Spectrum box to access Channel 25. I want to thank the crew for their effort today. This is a student broadcast, so there's a team of students, and I'm going to ask that team of students, before the game is over, please give me a list of all of your names so I can make sure that we give you the credit that is deserved. Tonight's officials, referee is Tim Sharp. The umpire is Derek Caswell. The line judge for today's contest is Maurice Bennett. The linesman is Jay Allen, and the back judge is Bobby Melford. John, as they tend to the injured player, he made a heck of a play out there, and I hope that we see him getting up. That is great news, but we don't want to see anybody get hurt. As they're resetting and everything, let's talk a little bit about your radio program that you are putting on ESPN Radio locally here in Elizabethtown.
Yeah, it's kind of a branch off of our website, CardinalCats.com. It's going to focus mainly on University of Kentucky, University of Louisville, But we're going to do everything else. We're going to talk about everything. We really think that we can provide stuff people want to hear. We're going to have call-ins, interviews. I have some big-time guests lined up, former players from both UK and U of L. It's going to be a lot of fun. People are going to really enjoy it, I believe.
Back to live action. Here's Moore. Fakes the toss. Instead, gives up the middle to the freshman.
On the carry. Gain of 1.
Short gain.
Diaz on the tackle.
If anybody's winning in the trenches right now, it's John Hardin on both sides of the football. And that front four of John Hardin's going to like the film so far of what they're seeing in this first quarter of play.
Yeah, they definitely will. It's definitely been pretty one-sided so far as that goes. They're lucky North Hardin is. This game is actually still as close as it is, and they're threatening again.
Final minute of the first period. Once again, handoff is up the middle to the freshman, getting good action. That's Lavelle Wright. I talked to a few people about Lavelle Wright. They're saying that, hey, if this kid can play 3 years of high school football and get a whole bunch of contact, get a whole bunch of reps, he's going to be something else by the time he's a senior. He's already playing big-time football on Friday night under the lights.
Oh, he's fun to watch now. I can't imagine when he gets a few years under his belt what kind of stuff he's going to pull off for him. Big third down for the Trojans, see what they can do.
3rd and 7, Moore rolls out right. This got him in trouble earlier. He's doing well here. Tosses out to Bankhead. Bankhead makes the catch, grabs the first down, and is knocked out of bounds by John Hardin. 8.8 seconds to play. As soon as they spot the football, that's probably going to end the first quarter of play. The clock guy runs off the last 9 seconds. And after 1, well, it was exciting to get this quarter started. The first kickoff was returned for a touchdown by North Hardin. They missed the extra point. Then John Hardin returned that kickoff for a touchdown. 7-6 is where we're at after 1. We will return with 1 minute left before second quarter begins. I'm David Gary. John Schartzer with me for HCEC-TV.
Grow upon those relationships with every single part of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Kentucky Youth Football Organization. KYF is an area youth league here in Radcliffe. We welcome the following teams: the Hurricanes, the Wildcats, the Buckeyes, and the Cardinals. Thank you for attending tonight's game.
Good job, Reed. That way to finish it.
Right on the carry.
Back to live action. Both teams switch sides. North Hardin in black going from left to right.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
You are watching a student broadcast of HCEC-TV. 2nd and 9, North Hardin trying to take their lead back. They scored first. We talked about that earlier, a couple of kick returns for touchdowns. Here's Moore, he's going right up the gut, but the back goes the other way. It's that talented freshman that we were talking about earlier, Wright.
On the carry.
He takes care of the first down yardage, I believe. Where's that spot? No, it's short, John.
I see it appears short to me.
3rd and 2. 3rd and 2. I was watching the scoreboard do all kinds of things. There was numbers under the down that weren't between 1 and 4. I was getting a little confused there. Here's Moore. He's got short yardage ahead. I expect to see Wright with the football take it easy here. Here's a snap, right, goes left, and takes it for a first down.
Trojans hopefully look to take care of the ball here.
For a first down, Trojans.
You know, after giving it up the last time they were in the red zone, you want to keep it simple. You want to run simple plays that are at low risk of turnover, and that's what you do right there. 3rd and 2, you run it to the guy who's averaging 5.5 yards a carry. Here's right again, no 5.5 for him that time. North Hardin just making good contact at the line of scrimmage and denied that one. We'll give him 2 yards.
Second and 8.
Working quick are the Trojans. Setting right up, keeping these Bulldogs on the field. They can't make some defensive substitutions when they line back up like that. Here's a throw from Moore, and he almost throws another red zone pick. He's got to make better choices than that.
That could have been bad. You definitely wanted to dictate the tempo and play your game, but that could have been a second interception in the red zone or end zone, actually, that you don't want to happen.
Here's that 3rd and 8 right here, or that inside draw when everybody thinks you're going to run. But I'll tell you what, there's some big guys that are going to say no to that on John Hardin's line right there.
Yeah, they're not looking
we'll
for
name
that.
them here in a bit. Little toss outside to number 5, the scat back,
Moore's pass is complete to Starks.
Starks. He takes it inside.
Second and 5.
How aggressive do you be here? Do you have a kicking game? Do you just take a field goal and take the lead, or are you going for 6 points here? This isn't a district game.
Right, I see them going for it. That point after earlier is still in their minds, and they're looking
You
to
got
make
an athletic quarterback. Does he take the snap and run it straight in?
another timeout.
All right.
Oh,
There's
John
John
Hardin this
Hardin's
time.
going to think about it. What are the options? If you're the coach here, you want to talk about what things you can look for.
I feel like this is going to be a keeper. Maybe a little out route to the outside. Maybe running back with the back.
In a close football game, if you don't make it here, you give away the football at the 4-yard line. So it's not the worst thing that can happen. But if you're North Hardin right now, you got to be thinking that you could have scored a touchdown on that last drive. You should be scoring a touchdown on this drive. And right now, this could be a 21-7 ball game, depending on what happens on this play. If you're John Hardin, you might also want to call this timeout and talk to your football team and say, hey, let's not have some dumb penalties here. An unsportsmanlike call, you can give an automatic first down. Let's be smart out there. Let's not talk. Let's make another big play. And so I'm curious to see how this plays out. I want to give a shout out to E-Town Exterminating. Thanks for being a part of our broadcast today. 737-6900, the number to call, or you can find them online, mugabug.com. Here we go. John?
John Hardin coming back to the field. They're definitely looking not making any mistakes here. They're looking to no penalties, like you said. You know, these guys don't want to give this up. They want to keep this lead. North Hardin has to look to convert something right now.
And after chalking it out,
Here we go.
we're kicking. Nope. No, I thought maybe we would kick.
No,
Not
it
happening.
looked that way. I was confused here too. He's gonna keep it.
Moore
Nope.
gives it right up the middle, and it's a touchdown.
That's big play for North Hardin.
Starks the carry.
One.
The little guy, he just kind of ducked under the pads of all those big John Hardin.
Sneaks it right in.
I think if you're the Bulldogs there, you were expecting a little toss or maybe the quarterback to run, and so not a bad call right there. They're going to go for 2, try to reclaim that point that they left when the PAT clanged off the upright earlier in the ball game. That's the first touchdown conventionally by either team.
Same play.
Let's do the same play. Let's go right up the middle with Starks. Starks appears to have been denied.
Attempt is no good. With 9:26 to go in the second quarter.
I actually like the call though.
I like the call. It worked last time. And why not? They just didn't execute as well as they would have liked to there.
Yeah, they didn't get what they wanted out of it, but I do like the call. It's an aggressive call to show that they're trying to protect their home field.
It might seem ad nauseum to some people, but I talk about the kicking game and how important it is. There's 2 points that have been left behind by North Hardin because the first one you missed, the second one you didn't have enough confidence or you had to recover that. So, it all comes down to that. Now, last season, each of these teams had a guy that could kick the ball to the end zone. And especially John Hardin. You just weren't returning kickoffs against John Hardin. When the ball goes to the end zone, it's a touchback in high school football. You can't return it back even if you want to. So forget about it. You put your guy at the 5, and if it goes over his head, it's safe. No free ball in the end zone.
And your coaches, Paige Wilson and Allie Kate.
People just keep trickling in here. They know that there's a football game going on. Some people getting off work and doing what they got to do. But when we got started, there was a lot of empty seats, and they're filling these up on both sides.
It's definitely filling up quickly. Yeah, like I said, we talked about earlier that it wasn't quite the crowd we had expected, but here we are.
There was great energy last year between these two teams at John Hardin. That game, of course, won by North Hardin 25-10. Here's Livers. He took it to the house. Last time they booted to him, and he's trying to make something happen here. I'll tell you what, there's just no boring play when the guy's got the football.
There is not. This guy's electric. Looks like we got another Trojan down on the field.
Injured Trojan on the field.
Oh, he's up and running off.
Good to hear.
Number 34.
Bluegrass Cellular offers the most affordable unlimited plan anywhere where wireless works. You can find out more about them online at bluegrasscellular.com. Now John Hardin's turn to answer. They haven't done much offensively. They've had a couple of plays by Livers. It's about it. Witherspoon, your quarterback. He can do all kinds of stuff with it. Probably going to give it up the middle to Reinheimer here. Doesn't. Instead, he throws to the outside.
Witherspoon on the catch.
Catches.
Tackled by McKinney.
Number 5 on my roster,
Down Bulldogs.
which isn't on my roster.
That's Witherspoon. Witherspoon. Somebody else took that snap. I didn't see who it was, but Witherspoon.
Well, they faked me out.
Quarterback is
It's not the first time it'll happen this year, and probably not the last time it'll happen today.
That's right. It's first game. We get a pass sometimes, right?
Yeah, speaking of passes, that was interesting. Okay, there's Witherspoon again walking out to the right side. It's interesting stuff. Livers in motion. It's given to Reinheimer. Reinheimer is bottled up, and he's taken down by 4 Trojans.
It's going to take 4 of them. He's a big boy.
Interesting stuff. Okay, so 16 comes in, acts like a running back. Witherspoon goes in motion away, becomes a split end, and well, then they have all kinds of options going on. Justin Russell is the junior quarterback. He's second on the depth chart, and so there you go. Here's Russell at quarterback right now. Witherspoon outright. Not sure if a change has been made. Livers coming around the end. They love this play. It always has a potential of being big. And look at that. Cuts back, comes around the left side, finds more real estate out there, picks up a gain of about 15, and Johnny ran 36 yards.
That was impressive. Comes one way, turn around, comes back the other way.
Not how it's drawn up on the chart, but I'll tell you what, the John Hardin coaching staff, they'll take the result. They'll talk to him about it in film, though. He ran out of real estate going right, cut back the other way. He's fun.
He is fun. That was impressive.
He was not satisfied with the result on that other side.
John Hardin right at
Here
midfield.
we go. Russell's your quarterback. He goes deep and doesn't find anybody. He was trying to hit the earlier. No, that's not.
Intended for Pendergrass.
He was trying to hit Pendergrass there.
Not sure what happened. I didn't see a white jersey really.
It was a good idea. It was a good idea. He tossed the ball deep. He just kind of came up a little bit short on that one. We'll be positive with the analysis of that. Like I said, not sure if a change has been made. Bulldogs last year, they platooned their quarterbacks a couple of times throughout the season. One guy wasn't feeling it, and maybe another guy came in, gives a different look. Also lets you utilize Witherspoon as a talented wide receiver. He caught 11 balls for about 180 yards last year and a couple of touchdowns. He was a dangerous kick returner as well. Here we go.
Here he goes.
Speaking of Witherspoon, let's run him the football. North Hardin not having any of that. Setting zebra on the left side.
Tackled by Kyle
Not what they wanted. This kid's an athlete, though. He's definitely can break that play open. Wasn't happening that time.
It makes it challenging for us to figure out who's got the football. When you got any of 3 or 4 guys that can take the football, not sure what's going to happen there. So thanks for keeping me in check there, letting me know.
And we're sitting up here. Imagine having
we
to
got a
defend
good
that.
view. Justin Russell might be on the field right now. Why did they change quarterback? Justin Russell takes the snap. He throws this one a lot sharper. Got a receiver who makes it. Looks like he's got first down yardage.
It appeared to be Witherspoon, was it not?
And, your starting quarterback with a great grab. The joy of high school football. People can play all kinds of positions.
You gotta measure the ball and see if give him that first down.
Looked like a favorable spot. Witherspoon was wide open. Got some separation and kind of made it happen at the end there. He earned an extra 1.5 yards. I find this to be one of the more fun parts of high school football because, as we know, this is not a very accurate way to measure, and we're never going to see like a digital measuring in this in our lifetime.
No.
So it's only as good as the guys on the sideline and where they had the chains. It's probably one of the silliest ways that we determine whether or not somebody has a first down, but it's the only method that we have. They haven't improved on that in the last 40 years.
Yeah, that's been the way it is for a while, and it's going to probably stay that way.
Sometimes those guys running the chains can be kind of homers too.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely true.
Maybe they've gotten better at that. First down and 10. Ball at the 39. 6:40 to play. John Hardin trying to get back on top of a football game they led for most of the first quarter. It's Reinheimer up the middle, just rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling over black jerseys until he falls down after a gain of about 6.5. The big guy, Octavius Oxendine. I don't need to tell you his number. He's the biggest guy out there.
You can't not miss him.
He's a sophomore. He's a young sophomore. And just take a look at some of the contact going on between him and when you have a guy with size, you have to game plan around them because they're not going to move.
Right, you're not gonna move that ball right at him. He's not budging. So you got to do something to get around him, take him out of the play.
Russell, the quarterback, has got a couple guys in motion, a little confusion, gives it to the original quarterback, Witherspoon. He does the Stephen Livers imitation, cuts back after running left, takes it to the right side, might have picked up a first down, but let's see. It looks like there's a flag on the play. I'm going to guess an illegal block on this one.
We're waiting on the official call.
Personal foul can be a crackback block, can be a clip.
Personal foul against the Bulldogs.
So that's going to negate a good play. It's going to march it back. Should be marched off from the actual infraction sites. That's really going to hurt him. It's not from the end of the play. It's from where it happened.
Right.
That's going to turn a first down into a second and whoa. All the way back to their own side of the field. John Hardin,
Second and 23.
I don't want to rewind the tape, John, but self-inflicted. I mentioned it earlier.
Right,
it was what happened last time these two teams played. John Hardin doing it to themselves with mistakes.
We've talked about this all night, and it seems like they just can't get it out of their heads.
Russell rolls
almost
out right.
intercepted.
Kind of a shot put toss to his receiver. Almost intercepted. That was dangerous.
Now they got third and forever. Let's see if we can.
Well,
John Hardin can convert.
If you're John Hardin right now, you just don't want to be panic and chuck up a long ball, even though a long ball intercepted is as good as a punt. But they've got an exciting guy in Stephen Livers here. I wouldn't be surprised to try to get the ball to him in space and just see what he could do with it. No running backs. Player in motion. Gives the give to Witherspoon. North Hardin setting back easy with 29 to go. That's not going to fool anybody, and not to question the play call, but I'm questioning the play call.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they wanted to do here. I mean, the kid's got talent, but that's a lot of
You're going
yards.
to fool a bunch of guys in a zone coverage with that. Now, they might have just wanted to play it safe and see if something happened, but I might have taken my chances with a guy that's already taken a kick return to the house and broken a big play and almost returned an interception to the house. That's the guy I want with the football.
I would think so. Let's see.
Hearing the call to watch the fake, but people don't usually fake punts with 4th and 25. I'm pretty sure they're
Typically
kicking
not.
this one here.
This is our first punt of the night, I believe, right?
It is our first punt of the night. John Hardin had 13 guys on the field. A couple guys get off quickly. Here we go. Here's the boot. It's a good kick. This is going to skip down. It's going to be returned. And a good open field tackle by John Hardin.
Good coverage by the
That's what
Bulldogs.
you want. The problem with trying to take a long ball on 3rd and long, or even 4th and long, some people say, oh, why don't you chuck it up, see if something happens. If that ball's incomplete, you're giving them some amazing field position. So you just kind of cut your losses when it's 4th and 20 or 3rd and 29, trying to make something happen.
Field position is crucial to this game, and you can't give them on your side of the field.
Player down. The way this game started, I thought we were going to have run out of scoreboard room, but 12-7 is your score. North Hardin defending their fort early in this one. I want to talk a little bit about West Point Bank. They have 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. You find them online, westpointbank.com. Let them help you make your life simpler. West Point Bank, hometown banking made simple. Also, Physical Therapy Associates. More personal attention for more effective results. With locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville. Online at physicaltherapyky.com. Always a tense moment when somebody's injured. You hope that they're all right. It's early in the season. We never want to see people get hurt. These young men have only so many games that they can play in their high school career, and it's never fun to watch it from the sidelines in civilian clothes. Been there, done it, still talking about it 30-something years later. It's not a good feeling, but
No.
when they can walk off and they don't have to bring in any kind of mechanical thing to get somebody off, it's a better sign than not. I hope the young man recovers fully today.
So that was 13 blunts, it looks like.
North Hardin has an opportunity here to go up 2 scores. And as you approach halftime, you always want to go into the halftime locker room up 2 scores.
Oh, yeah, you definitely want to get that momentum going, you know, kind of get in the other team's head, which John Hardin's already kind of in their own heads now. So.
More than 11 points. If you can go up more than 11 points, statistically shows you're going to win a lot of football games. Here's more. Tosses the ball deep. Not enough oomph on it. He was tossing for Bankhead. Bankhead had some space and separation. The pass just wasn't there.
Just a little short.
North Hardin 2nd and 10 at the 27. Snap, fake, toss outside. Caught. Making some things happen. Gain of 7.
Gain is good for 7 yards, 3rd and 3 for the Trojans.
Big play here for both teams. North Hardin's going to want to keep this lead going into the halftime locker room. John Hardin wants the football back. Here's a quick toss outside. It's weak, and it skips. You've got to have some strength on that pass, John. That's a dangerous toss. That football's covering a lot of real estate out there. It can be picked off and taken to the house. And in this case, it was just underthrown, and now they're kicking the ball away.
Yeah, that was nearly intercepted. That's not what they're looking for. John Hardin now maybe look to get this ball back, try to get some good field position, and see if they can score before the half.
4:27 to play, 4th and 3.
Josh has a man out here.
Pretty much a kicking situation.
That's Eric. Is it? 16. Hey, they're in close. They're running fake. He's bitten there.
4th and 3, fake punt.
They did fake it. Yeah, first down.
It's a first down.
Gutsy play call by the Trojans.
Well, you know, we're up here in the booth, and we've got the advantage of the coaching staff being here with us, and the John Hardin coaching staff are going nuts, and they read it, and I didn't want to just shout it out before it happened, but it was as obvious as could be. A lot of times you look at the personnel, who's lined up in certain places. If you got blockers in blocker places and a punter in a punter place, then you're not expecting anything to happen. But they were quick to point out that there was a thrower and a runner in some blocker places. Short pass to the left, North Hardin trying to add some points before we go to halftime.
Brother Chushmore, 14 yards and a first down.
Unlike the NFL, the coaching staff in the box up here doesn't have a hotline to the middle linebacker out there. You can't just
call the play
holler at him just because you read something from up here in the skybox. It just doesn't work that way. Moore takes a snap out of the pistol. He's thinking about going deep. He does go deep, and oh, there's no way that even Shaquille O'Neal could have caught that pass.
No.
Moore overthrew his receiver by about 20 yards. He's going to pick up a pass interference call, but generally that is waved off. The flag should be picked up when there's no way the receiver could have caught that football.
Ball was not catchable at all.
Pass interference against the Bulldogs.
Now, you know, in today's football world, contact on a defenseless receiver is an NFL rule. They haven't really fully implemented it here. They've got the targeting rule in college.
Right.
High school has got such an ambiguous definition of it. From our view up here, that looked like a questionable call by the officials. I can't imagine any scenario that the receiver could have caught that football, and he wasn't impeded.
No, that was not a catchable ball.
That's going to be a play that maybe we were talking about later when we recap the football game.
That could be if North Hardin scores here. That could be a turning point.
Moore throwing deep again, got Bankhead. Oh, and he gets a big shot. Can't hang on. Tries to make the one-handed grab, Odell Beckham style. Had an opportunity, but man, he took a pop back there.
That's a great play by the Bulldogs. He almost thrown that in one-handed, but John Hardin's not letting that happen.
Some John Hardin Bulldog is going to have that on his highlight reel. That was a bit of a pop. That's going to be some video he wants to save. Saved a touchdown, too.
That's one for the huddle film.
Bankhead, tough, gets right back up, and he's ready again. 2nd and 10. Here's Moore. Here's a throw outside to the freshman. He's making things happen. Take it down after a decent gain. I'm going to give him 7.5 yards.
Good for 8 yards.
7.5, 8.
Tackled by Nelson.
Lavelle Wright, I'm going to know his name before the season is over. We should know him now. He's doing nice things. Starks in the backfield with Moore. Moore throwing the rock to Starks, and Starks gets popped, but I think he's got enough for a first down.
Let's see what they give him.
3:11 to play. Friday night lights are working. Sun's going down. During summertime, you know, the sunlight stays out to like 10-ish or so, but as we get into the season, we start playing under the lights. It has a different effect on the football game, too. You see things differently. The shadows of baseball. Here we go. Starks making stuff happen. Takes that one off left tackle. Gain of about 7.
Yeah, this kid, I think we've got about just around 3 minutes left. I think it might be smart just to keep running the ball with him if it's going to work on the clock down. Going to the, see if you score one more touchdown, going to the halftime.
If you can get away with running the ball like 4 or 5 times and get a touchdown, that's ideal. You want to tick, tick, tick away the clock.
Right.
Time management is key. And right now making good decisions, protecting the football, not turning the ball over in the red zone, the things that have already hurt North Hardin. Again, there's been a couple of key plays in this football game. This could already be a 21-7 ball game.
Injured Bulldog down. Didn't see who it was.
While they tend to the injured player, talk a little bit about our broadcast. The web stream service of postseason coverage coming up, that's weeks away, is provided with a written permission of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and the National Federation of High School Sports. Now, I talk about that because if you watch these games and get to know these teams, and as you get into watching them during the playoffs, it's kind of nice. You can take it just about anywhere. During the holiday season or whatever, you can watch these games on your tablet or whatever, and so it's good to know.
It definitely helps, when sometimes it's hard to travel, be able to pick it up wherever you want to. That definitely helps. Get to hear us.
Yeah. we could conceivably hear ourselves if we were watching.
Well, yeah.
Our family and the 2 friends that we have collectively. We'll watch that as well as all the family and friends of the student athletes playing. And the crew, the wonderful crew that I hope are going to bring me a list of all of their names before this broadcast is over, and I will give them the shout-outs that they deserve for putting this together.
They definitely deserve some credit if we just know who we're giving credit to.
Yeah, I got to do a little better than that one guy and that other guy. Dale and CJ do a fantastic job. I enjoyed doing the games last season, and it's good to have you. You're looking forward to this.
Yeah, this has been fun for me. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. It's definitely fun.
Got a great view of the game.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
You get to kind of enjoy a whole lot of it, too. We got the windows open. You can listen to the crowd having a good time here. You got the coaching staff to one side of you, so you can listen to them plot and scout. You got the stadium announcer and their spotters going on, and the radio crew from ESPN Radio down at the far end. So it's such a wonderful perspective. If you're a sports fan or a bit of a football geek like I claim to be, it's fun. It's neat.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like it. I didn't know exactly what to expect, but this has definitely been an experience for me, and I can't wait for the rest of the season.
Outstanding. I want to tell you about eTownApartments.com real quick by Mark Harris Construction. You can take a virtual tour of what they have available today at eTownApartments.com. Oh, the home crowd's in full cowbell mode, and their team has the football. But
it's a bad time to go to cowbell mode.
Here we go. They put the cowbells away. Moore fakes left, gives right. And guess what? It's the freshman with his touchdown. Lavelle Wright, remember the name.
3, 2, 1, touchdown,
The crowd likes that a little bit, you think?
Oh, well, he also looked like he was excited to be there, too. You always say to people, act like you've been there before, but there's some guys that haven't been there before.
That's true.
Probably thinking about saving the football, but you can't do that in high school because it belongs to the school.
Just having a little fun. I like it.
Going for 2. Here's North. Moore rolls out right. Slingshots the ball. Over to Bankhead. Give him 2 points. Now that's the kind of zip. I got on him earlier for throwing a weak pass to the outside. Somebody on his coaching staff might have had a chat with him too and told him to put a little shoulder behind it. But that time, Moore zinged that ball, and it was right on the money to where only Bankhead could catch it. And hey, if their defense could hold fort here and hold serve, they got that 2 score lead.
Right, going
you know
up
what I was talking about.
13 points. You say going up over 11. Statistics are in your favor. They're going right now. They're up 13.
As a coach, you try to play it to where you can go into the locker room more than 11 up. You can do a whole lot more. You can be conservative in the second half, but and slow it down. You can play clock games. You can do all kinds of things. You're up 2 scores. You've got to fail to score twice, and you got to give up scores twice. So
at the same time, John Hart has a chance to score here and get the ball coming back after halftime.
Well, we saw how fast that Stephen Livers can make up real estate. I'm thinking that North Hardin is going to think twice about kicking him the football right here. I would be surprised if this ball was kicked deep. I expect to see a bouncy squib or another one of those slow, short floaters to a lineman. John Hardin doesn't have any linemen out there. They've got all ball handlers out there in that second tier. Here comes the kick. It's a squib kick. Fielded up early. And here's the problem with that. A big return by one of the upbacks, and John Hardin's in business.
Excellent field position.
I'm thinking that's 23, Will Kaysen. Will Kaysen is a junior. As John Hardin brings their team out on the field. Today's director is Dale Mings. The technical director, CJ Carroll. Gabe Stolkup is on camera, and so is Trey Hightower. Remember those names. I'll say them again a few more times as we go forward. Here we go. This could get interesting. John Hardin wanting to score. They just got a good return on what should have been a safe kick. That's not safe, John, when you kick it right to a guy who has ball handling skills.
They thought it was safe.
Going deep. John Hardin trying to make something happen. It's a touchdown.
That's Witherspoon.
Second team quarterback to starting quarterback for the score. flag on the play. Should be interference on North Hardin if there's a flag deep, but that was a well-executed play, a great throw. Justin Russell just said, I want to put some points on the board, and they did. Touchdown Trojans, just like that, John.
That was huge. They needed that big time.
I talked about the kicking game earlier, and on kickoffs, if you can kick that ball in a safe location, you're going to the locker room with your more than 11-point lead. But right now, well, maybe they still can. They're going to get the football back.
They do. Still plenty of time.
John Hardin confident in the kicking game still. They made theirs earlier. Heck of a play. Witherspoon had some resistance. He was covered. Still made that catch. Bumped, touched.
He wanted that ball, and he got it.
And if anything, the ball might have been a little underthrown, so a heck of an adjustment by the receiver to make that catch. Here's a kick. It's up. It's through. It's good.
The kick is good. Flag on the play.
Should be 20-14.
It's 20-4. They're waiting the outcome of the penalty. It looked like a late bump onto the holder. I doubt John Hardin takes points off the board, goes for 2 because of the adjusted field position, but they can take that on the kickoff, I believe.
That's what I'm expecting here.
So it becomes a big penalty. If it is assessed on the kickoff, it brings up an interesting scenario. John Hardin could conceivably try an onside kick, get the football back ahead of halftime if they're only kicking off from the 40 or 45. I might have tried such a thing before.
Maybe.
I might have tried such a thing before. And when it works, you're a genius. When it doesn't, then it looks kind of like the kickoff North Hardin had to almost end this half.
That's true. Let's see. We got about 2:24 left.
See, when you get a 15-yard penalty on top of the extra point, you now get to kick off from enemy territory. You move that kickoff from the 40 to the 45. So why not? Why not play around a little bit? See if you can get that football. At least, you teach your kickers to just kind of boot that as a line drive right off the face mask of one of the upbacks and let it all get sorted out as necessary. Now, somehow we're kicking off from the 40. I'm not quite sure why we are up 20 yards, but not sure that they properly assessed the yardage on this one. They can review that later. This isn't a playoff game, and they go safe and kick it out the back of the end zone. I got to tell you, if I was kicking off from the opponent 40, I might have tried a dribbler to get the football. But John Hardin's content to put their defense out there, see if they can get the ball back. Right now, anybody's football game, John.
It is, yeah. We've still got plenty of time for Trojans to score again here, but this game started off wild, kind of cooled down a little bit, and then now it's getting excited again.
Yeah. We gotta wet the moment right now going on. It's somewhat normal. Got a touchback. In high school, a touchback still brings you to the 20. Don't be confused with NFL's new rules where you get to the 25 now. Here's Moore, throws the football. He's got a guy wide open and connects. Oh. Hangs on to the football. John Hardin Bulldogs collide. That's Bankhead. Keep an eye on him. He's just having himself a heck of a football game.
I exchanged messages with Brent Thompson, coach of the Trojans, a couple days ago, and he told me to watch out for Eric Moore and Bankhead, that combination there.
Pump fake to Bankhead. Everyone bites on it. That was a fantastic drawn-up play, John. Bankhead's getting the attention. I just said watch out for him. So the pump fake to Bankhead drew almost half of the defense. And, boy, they had an opportunity there that was missed.
Right, that's a catch you've got to come down with. I feel bad for that kid right there. But that was perfectly drawn play.
That's not one of the ones you want to watch while watching the film. When you're that guy, you're wide open. You want to make that happen and have something else happen. Here's Moore. He's got time and opportunities. He's going to throw the football, not even trying to sell the run fake on that one. Short, safe toss for about 4 yards to Bankhead. John Hardin wrapping up quickly. you know, with these exciting ball players that can take a ball to the house with any play, it's important that when you're isolated on someone to make your tackles, if I can give a nod to John Hardin, they have made their open field tackles today.
Yeah, they have, and that's huge for them. You know, one big miss, that's with the way these guys operate, they can go to the house. John Hardin's done a great job of wrapping up and tackling.
Interesting to see what happens here. It's actually 3rd and about 5. Scoreboard says 2nd and 5. It's 3rd and 5. North Hardin trying to keep this drive moving. John Hardin saying, hey, give us the football back. Maybe we'll go into the halftime with a lead.
Still plenty of time.
It's one thing that high school football offers you is you can just throw out conventional wisdom, because whatever could happen in a high school game. When you think you've seen it all after years and years of watching games, I don't know. I have seen it before, but it's been a long time since I've seen a game open with consecutive kick returns for touchdowns, and that's how this game opened up. North Hardin, hey, they got the party started with a kickoff return for a touchdown. John Hardin answered that, and that's the way it sat in the first quarter, and then we've dueled back and forth here. 3rd and 5. Here's Moore. Rolls out left. Tosses it. He's got a guy. Makes the catch, and importantly, gets out of bounds. Gives them an opportunity to get set up and a first down.
Speaking of that opening, not only did you have the back-to-back kickoff returns, you also have an interception and a fumble on the following possessions.
Yeah, good thing we write that stuff down.
It's like right at midfield for the Trojans.
1st and 10 from the logo. Here we go, and Moore would like that one back. Oops. That's all I can say.
Oops.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that play had better intentions than its result.
It's probably the same thing he said.
Yeah, exactly. Moore's going to get another chance. He's got 2nd and 10. I expect this not to be a punting drive either. So if they've got only a couple of yards to go, I expect them to go for it. That one too high, sails out of bounds. Way up and above Bankhead. Now, see, you can play safe here, and North Hardin can throw to space, and they don't necessarily have to pick up a first down. If they can at least pick up 6-7 yards here, they can keep this clock moving a little bit, them moving a little bit, and the drive moving.
They can. I feel like
you
that's what
don't want an
doing.
incomplete pass and punt it away. That's
right.
the worst scenario, or a sack. Short, safe, throws it over to the freshman, and he just can't hang on. So that doesn't take off any time. Set you up with an and 10 and a likely punt situation. John, you can draw up the plays all you want, but they got to execute them on the field.
You have to execute. No matter how good the play looks on your clipboard, you call it in, you got to execute it.
This North Hardin team's got a whole bunch of guys in new places. They graduated 21 players last year. Some of my favorite players to watch last season, including linebacker Miguel Luna. I raved about that guy last year. He was like, he personified what tough high school football players were all about. He was impressive. The guy gave it on the field, play after play after play. Not sure who this team's leader is going to be this year, but when you lose a guy that goes both ways on the field and he's involved in about every play, it's kind of tough to recover from.
That is, and you got to look and see who's going to step up for the Trojans. They're going to need somebody to fill that spot.
Also, North Hardin had a receiver last year, Thomas Janishevsky. And the young man made big play after big play. If it was a 3rd and long, he was making a big play. If this team was behind, he was making a big play. And I miss saying the name because it took me half the season, and out of respect to his family, half the season to pronounce it, I think, correctly. And I hope he's doing good things now, or maybe enjoying this football game with some of the other alumni that's here.
He could be here. That's a fun name. I wish I could have been here for that. This crowd really getting into it right now. They're loving it.
Eric Moore is your quarterback here. 6'3", 180-pound junior. Got a lot of playing experience last year, but Eric's having some struggles on important downs in this game, and I'm sure his coaches are going to talk to him a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure he's probably looking forward to halftime.
Moore is your punter. Always an opportunity for him to throw the football. Instead, a boot. It's a high boot. It's fielded and covered wisely by North Hardin.
First and 10 Bulldogs. Harper on the sideline.
Witherspoon was your starting quarterback in this game, and then we saw Justin Russell step in. Russell throwing the football, and he's thrown on a majority of the downs, playing a little bit of catch-up for the Trojans, and he tossed a touchdown of excellence earlier to Witherspoon, who was the starting quarterback. So it's a stat guy's nightmare of a game right now, but it's fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely fun to watch. It's fun to call. Gets a little confusing sometimes, but it's been fun.
Again, minute 28. Bulldogs would like to lead going into the halftime locker room. Look for Livers to make a big play. If you can get the ball to him in space, who knows what can happen. The toss outside.
Let's go to the house.
Crossfield.
Guess who it is? Witherspoon.
He started at quarterback.
Complete to Witherspoon.
He caught 11 passes last year, and in this game alone, I think he's got 4 or 5. So not bad for your starting quarterback.
Not bad at all. He wants it. I don't know, I said that earlier, and I'll repeat myself a little bit, but this guy, he's, like I said, in the position change, doesn't seem to faze him.
Justin Russell throwing the rock out there. You know, he kind of came in and he's throwing the ball with some poise back there. North Hardin's got to think about maybe putting a little pressure on the quarterback. There it is. There's some pressure. Set up screenplay, and it goes awry. That's what pressure can do. Faster than I could say it, it happened.
That one almost went to the referee.
Yeah. The whole idea of the screen pass is to let everybody in and then, throw it up and over them. That time, the heat got up there a little faster and the play could develop.
It did. John Hardin still has just under a minute here to make something happen and get that ball back.
Freinheimer runs like a guy you don't want to get in front of in the open field, so that's not a bad play call right there with that screen pass. It's safe. It can be very effective, and if it doesn't work, you're back to right where you started. Here's Russell, hands the football off, hoping something happens, I guess. Safe play by Reinheimer. 48 seconds right now. They're interesting to see how they play this. Are they going to play it safe, or are they going to wing one and see if they can make a big play happen? I'm going to lean toward wing one. This is a rivalry game.
That's something I think I'm going to give it a shot. Look for Witherspoon to go deep.
Witherspoon or Livers. Take a look here. Quarterback rolling out right, and he is taken down. Gets the football off, but
Oxendine, the big boy getting in
that
there.
is Octavius Oxendine. Put a little pressure on the quarterback.
These North Hardin fans love that kid.
What's not to love about big?
You gotta love
You can't coach a guy to be big.
You gotta love O squared.
You can't. You can practice all you want, but you can't coach a guy to be big. You can make them stronger. You can make them, but when someone is just big, they are hard to miss on the football field. And when they're making plays like that was a big play. 3rd and 7. That could have been a game-changing play for John Hardin if they pick up a first down there. And for the youngster to come in there and put that kind of pressure, that's exciting.
Yes, it is.
Stephen Livers walking off the field with a little bit of a hitch.
Back to receive.
Can't tell the situation there. An exciting football player. I'd like to see him play the second half.
Let's hope he's okay.
I don't expect any tomfoolery here. That could be disastrous if it doesn't work. But it's high school football, and just because I said it, it might just happen. Tomfoolery being, I expect him to kick this football. He's a good punter. Good snap, it's away, pretty decent boot, really decent boot, right to the returner though. North Hardin going to have a chance to get something going here. Gets a couple of blocks, takes it to the outside, and John Hardin seals the deal.
Returns it back to the 49-yard line.
I talked about John Hardin maybe winging one before half's over. We're not talking about Brett Favre here. We're talking about a junior quarterback in Radcliffe, but why not?
Couldn't hurt. Put it where your receiver can get it, though, if you don't want this one getting picked off. Well, they throw it deep. It's not going to matter.
Yeah, 9 seconds. Sometimes the other thing, too, is you can send everybody deep except for one guy, and everybody forgets that guy that's kind of on the short side, and it becomes a sprint to the end zone. Let's see how North Hardin plays it out. Moore drops back. John Hardin's got 8 guys in coverage. Throws it deep, but had an opportunity to connect and could not connect. They're going to get one more chance to let one fly. You know, I better watch myself before I talk about the arm strength of this kid. When he's rolling right and he throws it,
he's getting out there.
You know, that was an out route. That was a flag route to about the 10. He could have easily thrown it a few more yards. So I'm going to eat some crow here if I talk about his arm strength anymore. Here's Moore looking to make something happen. This time it is the screen pass. North Hardin Bankhead with the football. Picks up about 11, and that's going to take us to halftime. John, real quick before we go to the half, it's been a wild ride. What do you expect for the second half?
I expect John Hardin to buckle down a little bit better in the second half, maybe get out of their own heads this time, make some plays. I think some interesting second half. I think these guys are really going to make a game out of it.
John Hardin gets the kick the last time that this half opened, the first half, if you're keeping score at home. We saw a couple guys return kickoffs for touchdowns. We'll see how the kickers play it out. We'll see how the rest of the team's players play it out as well. I'm David Gary. With me is John Schartzer. We will be back and rejoin you 2 minutes before the third quarter starts with HCEC-TV. And we're back. David Gary with John Schartzer. We're here at North Hardin High School in Radcliffe. And, hey, it's our first broadcast of the season, John, and it's a fun one.
It has been. As I said, we've rehashed this plenty of times now, but the way this game started, you know, we knew we were in for a fun night, and it's definitely living up to the hype so far.
You know, the team, there's 2 stories here. One, John Hardin, they know they're a good football team. They believe they're a good football team. They have high expectations for this season. They're coming off a 9-5 season that saw them reach the Class 4A state semifinals for the 8th time in the past 9 years. The only time they didn't was in 2015. Last year, they pulled off a miracle in the playoffs. It looked like all kinds of wonderful things were going to happen, and then, you know, it didn't for them. The season ended before you got a trophy. For North Hardin, they come out the gate 4-0. As a matter of fact, they surprised everybody and beat John Hardin at John Hardin in this rivalry game last year. They started off strong, and then some things happened. They had an amazing, talented quarterback by the name of Isaiah Bankhead who got hurt. It kind of disrupted things a little bit. Guys moved around. Isaiah got back and healthy again. He was playing wide receiver. You know, there was a couple of times where he went back and forth between our quarterback now, Moore, and last season for North Hardin, they just feel like they didn't get to the top of the mountain like they should. They were so excited with what could have been, only to have it all come crashing down against Eastern. They lost, I believe it was 42-7 in the playoffs. So these are both teams that are hungry for wins. Let's throw out last week. It was week 1 of a new season where teams play teams for a number of reasons, and North Hardin went down to Bowling Green and lost to a Purples team that won the state championship last year in a different class, but I'll tell you what, not a lot of teams come out of Bowling Green with a victory.
Not at all. Bowling Green's a team that for the last several years has just been one of the best teams in the state. And that's
year after year after year. I mean, it's testimony to the program they have there, and they just continue to win. They have a culture of winning there that both of these teams would certainly like to adopt.
Definitely, yeah. If either of these teams could mirror what they're doing down in Bowling Green, I think they would be definitely happy with that.
Game started off, North Hardin takes the kickoff all the way. Misses the extra point, though. It got blocked at the line, so we're up 6-0. 7-6 is your score quickly because Stephen Livers takes it back the other way. After a short corner kick, Livers goes 89 yards for a touchdown. 7-6 was the score. They trade back and forth. 20-14 is where we're at right now. If I'm going to question a couple of things, one is the self-inflicted penalties and silly mistakes that John Hardin made in this football game that have taken them out of positions to be competitive. The other one on the flip side is North Hardin failing to capitalize on some opportunities they had to score. We had a red zone interception, Moore threw the ball into the hands of a defender, Livers, and that killed a drive at one point in time. North Hardin made a big play to pick up a fumble earlier in the game, turned the ball over on the next play. And you just can't have that happen if you're either one of these squads. So whoever plays the cleanest football, whoever plays the smartest football is going to win this game. And right now, the Bulldogs are going to have to come from a 6-point deficit to do that.
But I think if you're the John Hardin Bulldogs, I think you're happy right now to be down by only 6 with the mental mistakes, the penalties they've had, and then also the inability to complete for North Hardin in the end zone those couple times.
Couple storylines. Witherspoon was our quarterback. Anthony Witherspoon started this football game. He's a senior. He's an incredibly talented young man, but a change was made when John Hardin wasn't going anywhere offensively. In comes in second-team quarterback, and that was, pardon me, Justin Russell. I almost called him a player that doesn't play for this football team anymore, but Justin Russell came in, and ironically, he throws the ball to Witherspoon deep for a score. Sometimes it's not just scoring, it's how you score that can change the momentum of your football team. And there's few things more pretty than a long ball for a touchdown, and that's what they hooked up on.
They did, and it was impressive. It was something that maybe a little bit underthrown, but Witherspoon came back and got it.
Football does not have a home run, okay? So you call it a home run ball when you throw the ball deep and it's caught, especially for a touchdown. So that's the closest thing football has to a home run, with the exception of a kickoff return for a touchdown. That's some exciting stuff there. That's almost like you're inside the park home run. Good stuff right there. I want to give a shout out too. I've been calling him the freshman, but that's Lavelle Wright. People saying nice things about him. Now I'm starting to see why. He's playing varsity football and he's scoring touchdowns. He had a couple of tough runs in this ball game that show me he's around to stay. And just think about how many yards a guy can put up if you're playing 4 years of varsity football.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be fun to watch for the next several years, and who knows, maybe even after that.
You know, this North Hardin team, the schedule's not incredibly kind to them. I believe I read in the News Enterprise today that 9 of their first 10 games are teams that won their playoff game and got to the second round last year. So there's no gimmies in this first end of the schedule.
No, the schedule's definitely not doing them any favors.
Curious to see how North Hardin kicks this one off. I don't think you're going to want to boot it deep to Stephen Livers. Probably not a good idea for teams for the remainder of the season to do that. He's exciting.
Yeah, you probably don't want to give that kid too many opportunities to bring that ball back to you.
I know. I'll take my chances with a longer squib kick. Now, an interesting storyline too. We rewind back. It was 20-7 after North Hardin scores. They're kicking the ball off. There's only 2 minutes left in the half. They kick a really short squib kick. It doesn't even count as a squib kick, and it was too long to be an onside kick. It was right up the middle. It's fielded by one of the upbacks, whoever 23 is on John Hardin. He makes a nice return, 23 on John Hardin.
It's like Will Kaysen.
Will Kaysen. I will get to know these players as the season develops. But Kaysen takes the ball all the way back to the 25, and it's a short field for John Hardin. Even after a penalty, they connect with Witherspoon for the touchdown there. There it is, little side of the foot action. You know, what that does is now John Hardin's got great field position.
Yes, it is.
The part that I like about it, I mentioned it earlier, sometimes you want to kick that line drive off some of the big guys. No offense to the big guys out there that are linemen, but you're not always known for your hands. They're not usually the dexterous ones out there. They're the strong guys. They're the guys you want walking with you through the battles, okay? So if you kick a live drive off the face mask of one of those guys, sometimes some fun stuff happens with the football. Almost happened there, but now John Hardin starts trying to get their lead back. A good field position. All right, the 48,
oh,
47.
Yeah, they're going to look to capitalize here.
Justin Russell is your quarterback for the second half. He's got the starting quarterback in motion, Witherspoon. Hands it up to Reinheimer.
Ronheimer on the carry.
Picks up a gain of
4.
Not a huge run, but I did like how while he's running to his right, he's looking upfield the whole time.
Hill on the tackle.
2nd and 6. Like a good movie or a good book. You want to see how this plays out. It's just unpredictable fun.
Especially the way John Hardin switched up their offense tonight. It's been...
Oh, you put a different quarterback in who seems to be pass first. Russell gives to Witherspoon. Witherspoon takes it around the left end.
Witherspoon on the carry.
Good to see Stephen Livers out there. I talked about him being exciting. I wanted to see him in this second half. He walked off a little bit gingerly at the end of the first half. He's still out there. He's a playmaker. as is Witherspoon. Witherspoon done it all tonight. He's thrown the football. He's caught a football for a touchdown. Takes the run.
Flag on the play.
John, starting to make my record skip. John Hardin with self-inflicted woes.
I was actually just thinking the same thing.
You're going from 3rd and short to a potential 3rd and 18, and you're trying to get back in the football game. I know that drives the coaches nuts.
Yeah, it has to. John Hardin, we talked about this all night long, but shooting themselves in the foot, these penalties. And
this isn't a penalty that replays the down either. This is a post-down penalty where you got 3rd and short on the opposite end of the field, and now you're going back.
Right, a very manageable play now goes into a much harder play.
3rd and 18 for the Bulldogs.
Completely changes your strategy here.
What do you think?
Well, you got playmakers, and I keep calling for it, and I think we're going to see at some point in time. You got guys like Witherspoon and Livers that you want to get the ball to in space. So why not come out with 5 receivers,
Just let him make a
send
play.
guys all over the place, and hopefully you get some separation, because I'd take my chances with Stephen Livers with a football in his hand anywhere, let alone in space. He's got single coverage right now, and take a look at number 3 on the right side. His quarterback tosses it out there. North Hardin covers that as textbook as you can.
Complete the Livers. Gain of 2.
No surprise.
I think
there.
if I can pull that assumption out, the well-trained and talented coaching staff of North Hardin can as well. That didn't surprise anybody.
Oh, no.
Play actually gained a couple of yards. I believe we're going to see a punt here.
Back to receive. Starks.
Boy, John Hardin gets a wonderful opportunity, starts their series after a short kickoff again, and one player makes a decision out there that hurts his football team. That's not a leadership move.
No, that's something that
You expect more from your seniors. I don't want to single anybody out. I'll be honest. I've been flagged before. I've got a red card in soccer before. I've been tossed out of games before. I know this from a position of perspective, but 35 years later, we can sit up here in the high tower and look down, and we realize we got young men playing the football game. And it's so important to teach that message that you got to keep your head in the football game and give yourselves chances to win.
especially in a big rivalry game this way, your
It
emotions
is.
are running high.
You can have an amazing football game and make a poor decision once, and that becomes your legacy for that football game. And I think, we're talking now about a penalty instead of an amazing catch for a touchdown that got his team back in it. And so I don't want to drop any names. We know who I'm talking about here. That has been my observation of John Hardin's weakness. If any team has an Achilles heel, that's theirs, is themselves. Got all the talent in the world. This team is got exciting players on it. They have amazing plays. They do some great things, but they do some stuff to themselves that takes them out of ball games.
You've got to cut down on those self-inflicted penalties.
John Hardin, here's a nice punt. Hangs up there, takes a favorable bounce. It's fielded and fumbled.
Coughed up.
Starks recovers his football at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 Trojans.
Fun starts on punts once it hits the ground. Many special teams coaches don't want you grabbing that football after it hits the ground. That you just leave it be, and wherever it lies, it's where the drive's going to start. But you start taking one hoppers, you take a risk, and this time it didn't hurt North Hardin.
It could have been ugly, though.
6 points is your lead. Same logic applies. You always want to add to your lead. They didn't get to go to the locker room leading by 11, but
He dropped the ball. He dropped
On the
the
carry.
ball. He dropped it before he even hit.
the interesting play right there, just a short inside handoff. Almost looked like the John Hardin player took it right out of his hands. Clock in the favor of North Hardin when you got the lead, but they're still working it quickly. Moore will forfeit the huddle. They've got a pretty simple offensive scheme. There's not a whole lot to it. They've got choices in how they set up, and they set up on only 3 or 4 different formats.
You got to catch that one.
Pass intended for Love.
Hot shot to Love. We saw Love make a big catch earlier in the football game, but the golden rule, John, if your hand hits it, you could have caught it.
Yeah, you got to catch that one right across the middle. Nobody really close to him. You
We've
gotta
seen
make
that a few
play.
times. The what-ifs in this football game are stacking up for both sides. Here's more. Zings it left. This time it is caught, but here's another golden rule. On 3rd and long, you've got to run a route long enough to get a first down, and that's just one of the things their coaches will talk to them about.
Pass is incomplete.
Pass was incomplete. I give him credit for the catch, but not a catch.
I thought it was too. Thought it was just shy, but
Nice to see number 80 back on the field. We didn't have his name on our official rosters, but he caught a long ball from Moore earlier and got tangled up with the sideline, and it was down for quite a while. And good to see him up and about, making plays. Livers sitting at about his 41-yard line. Here's the punt. Kick is away. That's not Livers.
oh wow, that's good.
Bad hop, live football. Looks like it could have been recovered by North Hardin.
John Hardin gets the ball back.
Was recovered by John Hardin. Ruling on the field. Heck of a punt, but once again, we talk about punts, and when they hit the ground, you don't always want to be picking those up. NFL guys, the NFL special teams coaches will tell you, I don't want to see you picking up those one-hoppers.
Yeah, once that ball hits, you just let it go where it goes, and you know.
From my vantage point, looked like North Hardin came away with the football, and a couple of John Hardin players jumped on top of him, but that's how piles happen. Nonetheless, John Hardin has another opportunity to take the lead in this football game. He's going to watch this one play out.
That's a lucky break for the Bulldogs.
John Hardin, their second timeout.
An interesting time for a timeout. They just had a play end up in their favor, but their coach might want to just huddle up everybody and say, hey, come on.
Let's calm our nerves.
Come on, let's take over this football game. They are proverbially shooting themselves in the foot right now.
Yes, they are. And they, like I said, they're lucky to still be
If
this
you can't catch
close.
that punt cleanly, let it go.
Yes.
If you can't catch it cleanly, let it go. And I'm going to say that for both teams right now. So it's week 2, which is still not week 1 of the real season for these teams. Both teams are going to take away some excellent film study and have an opportunity to learn from some of the mistakes they've encountered in this football game.
There's a lot to learn from this game.
Hey, this is a rivalry game, though, but if you have something happen like you accidentally fumble the football or drop something, you're going to hear about it.
Oh, yeah.
We live in the digital age. People are going to tweet you.
At this point, we throw all conventional wisdom out the window. See what happens.
Let's see what they dial up here. John Hardin to Reinheimer.
Reinheimer on the carry.
There's nothing fancy about that, but sometimes it works. And if you don't threaten the team that you're going to hand the ball off up the middle, they won't respect it for the remainder of the game. So
Exactly. You have to at least make them watch it for it.
Reinheimer earns every yard he gains. Tough running. A lot of respect for those players. They don't, when you get that name of fullback,
Oh, yeah.
you don't always get the props of a tailback or a halfback or a wide receiver. But the fullback is a guy that,
It's a lost art.
yeah, it's a lost art, and you earn that. You end up with a small rushing per carry average, but yet you earn every one of them.
Oh, yeah. You got to have that grit
Got to
to
have
be a
that guy on your
fullback.
team, though. Here we go.
Ball
Pass
back
to
down by
Livers is almost
Third
intercepted.
down and 9.
The would-have, should-haves, and could-haves are happening on both teams. There was a lot of zip on that football. That was hanging out there. It was fair game. It's going to set up a 3rd and long for the Bulldogs. I am not sure who to give credit to. Either the John Hardin Bulldogs are not executing well, or North Hardin's playing a heck of a defensive football game right now. A little bit of both.
Perhaps a little bit of both.
Quarterback change is made in the first quarter.
Flag on the play. Delay game on the Bulldogs.
Justin Russell at quarterback.
Penalty for
Another penalty for John Hardin. Delay a game.
I was getting into that thought, and I kind of felt like that play was developing slowly. These are the things that happen when you have a quarterback change, or if you don't have a guy that's your regular guy. timing is everything in this sport. And when you shake up the personnel a little bit, sometimes it changes who blocks who and how, and sometimes it changes how the snap.
Right, your snap count, handoffs, everything is different now.
For John Hardin, they look like a team in disarray.
Fumble play recovered by John Hardin.
Right now, Justin Russell is in duress. He was looking for a place to throw, to go, and it didn't happen. And the strangest football play that we've seen in a while just took place. John, I don't know what happened.
I look down at my stat sheet and look up, and I see a bunch of players running to the end zone.
It appeared. I wish I had an instant replay to make some sense of that. Kind of looked like a sack.
He's waving his hand. He's waving his hand.
Yeah, I'm baffled.
That's terrible. He got up with the ball, and then the guy took the ball away from him.
It appeared to be a sack on the play. The quarterback at one point in time had bobbled the football, but the play, in high school football, when you're on the ground, you're down.
But everybody stopped.
No, everybody stopped play for some time. A North Hardin player grabbed the ball and ran into the
And
end
just
zone
takes off.
for an apparent touchdown. And as of right now, that's the way it's going to stand.
But what do you expect from this game, though? What else would you expect?
I don't even know what I just saw happen. Attempt for 2 points is good. You know, a controversial or questionable play stings all the more when it's a rivalry game.
Yes, it does. Yeah, John Hardin, they're probably just baffled as wrestlers are right now, and then to follow it up, 2-point conversion.
You know, I have to admit, I already had dismissed the play as being a sack and whistle dead. I was looking at my notes and writing down, and all of a sudden the play continued. It appeared to be a couple of players were wrestling with the football. North Hardin takes it to the house after the play appeared to be dead. There were personnel changes being made on the play. I don't know the last time I've seen multiple seconds go by after the completion of a play. But hey, I'm gonna have to watch the replay. It might have been an incredibly heads-up play by a North Hardin player. We don't have that available to us. But right now, what I do know, 28-14. That's a 2-score lead. 7:35 to play, and this just got real.
Yeah, that's huge for North Hardin. They're definitely counting their blessings right now. That's for sure. Squib kick. Oh.
See, that's not a bad kick right there. You have an opportunity to do something. It's not easily fieldable. It's going through the guys with no hands, and it went far enough down the field to where that field position isn't terrible. Not a bad kick. For those thinking, hey, but it went out of bounds, you can go out of bounds if a player touches it first.
Right, it was
if
touched
it's
first.
touched on the field, it can go out of bounds without any kind of penalty. If we kick it out of bounds, then
A whole different story.
today's broadcast is a Hardin County Educational Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming is sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all of your telecommunication needs. In addition to Bluegrass Cellular, offering the most affordable unlimited plan anywhere where wireless works. Visit them at bluegrasscellular.com. Well, here we go. Let's see what John Hardin does here. Reinheimer on the carry. Those Trojans are pumped, and Octavius Oxendine is in there. He's the big one.
Tackled by every Trojan.
Oh, props to the hometown announcer who said tackled by everyone in the lineup. Best call of the night. Give that guy a raise.
I mean, who you give credit to? Everybody was there.
Hey, I'll tell you what, we talked earlier about there being good seats available, and then I went down at halftime, and everybody's here.
Everybody.
If you're watching at home, there's a reason why nobody's posting on your Facebook feed or anything like that, because they're all here watching this game. Everybody's here. I went to go get something at the snack bar, and that's not happening.
No, I bet Snapchat. The kids love the Snapchat. I bet it's blowing up right now.
Witherspoon on the end around. That's not fooling anybody. It's a play that the Bulldogs like, but when you're trying to catch up, I'm not sure it's giving you the results that that you want there.
Did I really just say the kids like the Snapchat? Am I getting old?
Something like that. You've reached that milestone where you're referring to people as the kids.
The kids.
When you start telling them to get off your lawn, you're even older. Here we go, 3rd and 7. Big play coming up for the Bulldogs.
On your feet.
The Bankhead family's cowbell strong right now. They got the cowbell rocking. You hear that cowbell? That's the Bankhead family. They got a cowbell on the stick. That is a cowbell factor of 10 on a 10 scale. That's good cowbell going. Crowd's into it. Here we go. John Hardin choosing to throw, and they can't make the completion.
It's incomplete. Intended for Livers.
Trying to get the ball to Livers, but unfortunately for John Hardin, North Hardin had 2 guys on Livers. They're not fooling anybody with Livers.
No, that kid's not going to be open too often anymore. He can get himself open, but they're not going to let him just get open.
A little early to call the winner of this one. Crazy things have happened from fumbles to interceptions to kickoff returns for touchdowns, and fumbles that happen after plays appear to be down. Stick with us on this one.
It's anybody's ball game.
I expect Bulldogs to punt here. Kind of a foolish place to be fooling around with the football down 2. Scores. 28-14 the score. Here's the boot. It's a short kick. Not going to make it to midfield. It's not going to take a favorable bounce either. For some reason, North Hardin decided to fool with the football.
Again.
For some reason, for the second time North Hardin's done it, John Hardin's done it too. You don't fool with the football after it hits the ground on a punt, especially when it's bouncing in your favor.
Yeah, I don't understand. This is 3 or 4 punts in a row now.
This game is a wild ride right now.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Somebody's not going to like film study on this one. They are going to tell them that you don't touch that football. John Hardin gets a gift and a little bit better field position. Couldn't have drawn it up better.
No, they couldn't have asked for a better result to that.
Here we go. You got some football playing. Chuck outside, not sure where that was to. Well over the top of Livers and not close. Livers is covered too.
Witherspoon was wide open, and he was wanting that ball.
Penalty on the play.
Got a flag down.
Flag on the play. I'm not sure what we're watching happen. John Hardin's offensive rhythm hasn't been established in this football game. They can do some things once they have that rhythm. Once you can hit them with a 1-2 punch of we're going to run, we're going to toss a little bit, and we're going to go around the outside, it's not happening. So we have to give some credit to big Octavius Oxendine in the middle, disrupting stuff, taking away that fullback dive. That up the middle run hasn't been there for John Hardin today.
No, John Hardin has so many playmakers, so many athletes that, you got to think it's coming eventually, but they've got to make something happen.
Ultimately, a lot of times the football game comes down to the game plan put together by the coaching staff.
Almost picked off.
North Hardin seems to know what's coming.
Pass is batted down.
Pass is almost picked off.
2nd and 15.
Pressure starting to get to the quarterback of John Hardin. Justin Russell, a junior, took over for Witherspoon a little bit into the first quarter after a couple of John Hardin drives didn't produce any kind of activity that moved the scoreboard. 6:13 to play, 2nd and 15. Still plenty of time for John Hardin getting into this football game. It starts with the first of 2 scores that they trail by. Run around the left side, nice pickup, sets up a 3rd and short.
Tackled by Lovejoy and starts.
Josh Garrett with a carry. Josh Garrett, number 4. Haven't called his name, but I'll tell you what, when you're running into situations where your playmakers are covered, it's that guy that steps up that you don't see coming. Second team tight end or a fullback or somebody that a sophomore comes off the bench and fools you and is wide open.
It's somebody you haven't game plan for. You don't have any film on this kid potentially.
That's the guy that I get excited when they do something.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of excited, John Hardin split end. Witherspoon, he's so excited he's been out there out wide right the whole time. I think we got another delay of game. Pardon me, that's not Witherspoon on the right side. That's going to be Deshaun Johnson.
Right, Witherspoon right here in front of us.
But Deshaun is out there lined up while the team huddled. I was expecting something fun on that play. Sometimes you could sneak a guy out there, and he doesn't get picked up by the corner. You run 2-3 plays in a row that are nothing but tight ends, and then you sneak a guy out there.
Just casually
and nobody picks him up.
5-1-5.
Bulldogs want to get this one back.
3rd and 9, ball at the 50. Less than a minute in this third frame to play. Oh, I'm sorry. Time change, 5:15 to play. How about that? I go by what's on the scoreboard, and sometimes it lies.
Are you telling me the numbers do lie sometimes?
They do lie. Yeah, it said 53. It said 53 seconds.
5-1-3.
Now we're 5.
Okay.
The
yeah.
clock's running now. Nope, 5:13.
They were fixing the clock. I was wondering with the 5-1-3s and all that kind of stuff. We got 51.3 seconds was put up at one point in time. That's confusing if you're trying to keep up. Here's Reinheimer, and I'll tell you what. I can't. Okay. I thought for a second they were going to spot the ball there, but you get forward.
Right, you have to stop. Yeah.
Well, that's a tough runner to bring down, and it took 2 guys to do it, but it wasn't going anywhere. Not a very aggressive play call when you're trying to catch up, but sometimes those are the ones that work.
It's an impressive stand by North Hardin, though.
That was an impressive defensive play. Just kept taking him and pushing him back till the whistle lap. But they tell you, stay engaged till the whistle blows.
Oh,
Fumbled
wow.
snap. It's a disaster. This punt is blocked. It's recovered by North Hardin. And I'll tell you what, John, the pendulum of momentum is in favor of the Trojans.
Oh, without a doubt. They're definitely feeling it right now. The crowd's feeling it. The players are feeling it. John Hardin's feeling it, but not the right way.
I have fun sometimes talking about what do you do now. If I'm the coach of this North Hardin team, I'm throwing the football at the end zone, and I'm finishing this football game.
Just go for it and close them out.
I am taking a shot at the end zone right here, and let's see if everybody thinks that way. Moore had a pretty decent game, a couple of mistakes, but he's on the winning end of the scoreboard right now. Let's see what he does. Looks left. He's under some pressure and he's taken down. I think they thought about making something happen there, but he didn't get the protection. And Ty Nelson of John Hardin wasn't having any of that.
John Hardin needed that play.
They did.
They're trying to slow down the momentum the Trojans have going right now.
When you got momentum in your favor, sometimes you want to take that shot deep. They did there. Going the wrong way.
Officials come out for an injured John Hardin player.
Oh, player down.
Player down.
Malik McGregor.
This has been an interesting game 1 of the Hardin County Educational Channel. But it's been fun. The unpredictability of this football game's kept us on our toes a little bit.
Yes, it has. It's definitely been enjoyable. You don't know what to expect. You don't know how to prepare for it.
I don't know how this is going to end, too, because we know John Hardin has exciting, explosive football players, and they can do things. They can do things like return kickoffs, intercept passes, and to make a screen pass go 80-something yards. We know that can happen. So North Hardin's got to be smart here. I like the aggressive call there to come out throwing after a big turnover, after a block punt. You can if that play works, you can set up your team for a victory right there. Right now, you're facing 2nd and 18. You're winning, so you can stay a little bit conservative. No need to try to make up those yards. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by West Point Bank. They have 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. You can find them online at westpointbank.com. We're back to live action. Moore in the pistol. Looking to throw. Quick shot outside. Can't connect again. And I'll tell you what, if Wright has had a good game running the football, he hasn't had an amazing game catching the football.
No, he hasn't.
If there is an element of his game that could stand to improve over the coming weeks of practice, he might want to take a couple extra reps catching the football. Maybe it's just a connection thing between him and his quarterback. I'd like to see that worked out. Here's Moore. He's under duress. He wanted to go deep. He's going to go to his short guy instead. That's Bankhead. Bankhead gets a block, slips a tackle, picks up what could be a first down for his team. I think he's going to be a yard shy.
I think he's just shy of it. That kid has got some speed, though.
That play was made by Moore. Wanted to go deep. He was under pressure, and I talked about the arm. It's good going to the right side. That was nothing but arm by Moore there. He just cocked back and zipped that to a wide open Bankhead.
It's a very heady play.
4th and 4, winning. Don't have a kicker that can kick a 43-yard field goal. This is all about it. What I do here is I throw out a hard count, John, and I try to get a free 5-yard offside penalty.
Then we got a false start on.
But instead, you get a false start. That can't happen.
No, cannot happen.
You talk about execution. You talk about shooting yourself in the foot. You talk about self-inflicted penalties. 4th and 4, your quarterback can come out there and just bark as hard as he wants to. You hope that you pick up that offside. You have to have the discipline as an offensive unit
wrong guy flinched.
To know the snap count. It's better there to get off late than early. Moore's got 5 more yards to pick up here for the first down. He's under pressure, zips the ball, and can't connect. Intended for Ryan, can't make it happen. John Hardin's going to get another opportunity to get back in this football game.
It's not over yet. They still got time to make this up. John Hardin definitely, again, counting their blessings after this.
Well, think about all that we just saw happen. We saw a blocked punt. We had a whole bunch of elation. We had a whole bunch of momentum, and right now we're right back to where we were. So.
Yeah, I can't call. I have no idea what's going on still. But it's been a blast.
I think you summed it up right there. We have no idea what's going on, but we'll try to narrate it for the remaining 3 minutes of this quarter and the final frame. A lot of football left. Here we go. John Hardin going deep. And guess who? It's Witherspoon. Brilliant coverage by North Hardin. That is good defense. And maybe an underthrown football. Let's give it up to Lorenzo Lovejoy. Lorenzo Lovejoy, a junior on the coverage there. Possibly an underthrown football, but Witherspoon had him beat.
He did have him beat. Again, he wanted it.
And I think when it comes down, the throw just wasn't there. You got to get that throw out ahead of the receiver. But, man, Witherspoon had it going on. Look for him to do it again here.
I think
he already knows that Witherspoon cannot run him. Nope. Inside to Livers. Livers making stuff happen. Gets popped. Not a big gain. About 3 yards. Going to set up 3rd and 7. John Hardin. Big decisions here. Cowbells are activated. The crowd is paying attention. And then there's a couple of people on Snapchat.
The kids are on their Snapchat.
They don't understand the significance of this. They haven't thrown down for all this cool North Hardin merchandise. Here we go, 3rd and 7. Livers fakes the end around. Oh, gets the end around. He goes one way, cuts back the other way. He's exciting. He's making something happen, but North Hardin has set the trap, and they've brought him down. You can only really pull that off once or twice in a football game, even if you're Barry Sanders.
It's true. But the way this game has been, you almost think it might could happen.
I have seen enough of Stephen Livers play football that I know not to bet against him getting free from harm. He makes things happen. He's an exciting football player.
Yeah, he is. And he's I'm still just this game. I'm actually at a loss for words. It doesn't happen to me very often.
We haven't seen a
Fourth down.
safety in this game.
Yet.
We have had a blocked punt and a blocked extra point, 2 kickoffs returned for touchdowns, a fumble return for touchdown, and how about Reinheimer saying, I'm going to get a first down?
Carry for a first down.
I think that was a case of everybody went to Livers. And then your big
yeah.
guy, the fullback, not the fastest guy in the squad, but the toughest to bring down.
He'll get you those tough yards.
He got the tough yards, and guess what? John Hardin pick up a touchdown here. We're talking a football game.
We are.
North Hardin had their opportunities to put this one away and didn't. I like the aggressive call after they blocked a punt, thinking about going deep. Didn't work out, but the 3 plays afterward, you can talk about that when they go check out the film. Here we go. John Hardin keeping it simple with an inside end around.
On the carry. Gain of 3. Third and second and 7. McKinney and Harper on the tackle.
38 seconds to play in the third quarter. I'm David Gary. John Schartzer with me. Hey, John, if this is your first broadcast, man, that means the season's going to be a fun ride.
Man, if
It's already
every game is like this.
Maybe it's you. Maybe you are the guy that's completely responsible for unbalancing the chi of what we can expect. Rivalry games are fun. They are rarely predictable. Here we go. John Hardin trying to pick up this first down. They keep it safe. Go to Witherspoon. Witherspoon's going to get brought down shy of the first down. I gave props to John Hardin for open field tackling earlier in the football game, and North Hardin's been making their tackles. And that's how we're going to end this third period. 28-14 is your score. North Hardin leads at home. Can they make it 2 in a row in this rivalry match? We'll find out. We'll be back when the fourth quarter begins. Oh, timing is everything. Tackled by the whole lineup as we go over there. Live action. We're back to football. John Hardin runs the ball at the middle to Reinheimer. Picks up a bunch of yards. Going to be close to a first down. If not, you know it's 4 down territory. They're on the opposing side of the field, and it's going to be 4th and short. I'll tell you, we had a moment during the quarter break there. The DJ threw on the House of Pain, and this house got rocking. Cowbells will ring.
He got live quick.
They about turned on the DJ. He played a remix version of the song, and people were ready to dance, and all of a sudden some techno came out. But everybody came together and enjoyed it as a group.
He was almost all over the Snapchat.
Yes, yes.
The kids almost made him Snapchat famous.
He almost was Snapchat famous. We can only strive to be Snapchat famous.
Is that a thing? Snapchat famous a thing?
It sure is. You can be Vine famous.
Right, Instagram. It's got to be
out
something.
for Charlie Puth. With it. Well, that's as short as it gets. All right.
Wow.
John, the offensive coordinator, and me says I don't run a play. I just say,
Try to get him off subs.
hut, really loud.
Run out and bark and get somebody to
We
jump.
call it a hard count. and we get a free first down here. Other than that, I'd take a pretty decent bet on my quarterback and center to pick up the 2 inches they need. If they're going to pick this up, though, they got to run through Octavius Oxendine.
That's true.
So here we go. They get tricky instead, and on 4th down, they try to go around in, and North Hardin defends their 4th.
Yeah, I'm not.
Sometimes you can outthink yourself.
Right, I'm not sold on that play call here.
I'm a firm believer that if you need an inch, you just go with the simplest play possible.
But I think I'm lined up under center and put my head down. And
I'm just going to lean forward with my athletic quarterback and hope he can get 1 inch on the play. But, you know, when it works, you're a genius. When it works, everybody's praising what a Vegas gambler you are. But here we go. John Hardin had opportunities in this game to get back in it, and they just aren't taking advantage of it. The freshman Wright, a decent night on the ground. No gain.
Didn't work that time, but I wouldn't stop giving him the ball.
There's only a handful of seconds left in this contest, and you're only going to get the ball so many times if you're John Hardin. You got to make good decisions when you're making those play calls on 4th and short. Here we go, 2nd down and 10 to go. Moore gives the ball inside. That's right again. He gets out around the outside. He's got a good game. Oh, takes a shot from number 4 and stays upright.
Yeah, stayed up. That's tough.
That's Josh Garrett from John Hardin they tell you to put your helmet on the football. Sometimes the helmets collide. They try to tell you not to do that, but there was a little contact in this contact sport just there.
I'd look for North Hardin to just keep running this ball.
Yeah. Why fool around with it?
Yeah, don't do anything dumb
Keep it
here.
safe. I need is 3 1/3 yards of play. So here we go. That's a safe run. It doesn't pick up any yards, but that clock goes. If you can get any points on this drive whatsoever, North Hardin, they're in good shape. Not going to promise anything. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, they're going to just let it run down.
Oh, you're going to
Much
take
as they
every
can.
second.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Kind of tough because you don't have that digital clock in your face like some stadiums. You know, you go to, I think E-Town's got a on-field clock. I'm not
Play
sure.
clock?
But it sure is a lot easier if you're at one of those fancy places that has a play clock. I could be wrong. Maybe I saw it someplace else, like the NFL.
Right, you sure it wasn't one of your Seahawks games?
3rd down, 8.
Starks,
Let us do that.
short gain, 3rd and 8. I don't expect anything too imaginative here. You could conceivably run the football twice here. Take a few seconds. Here we go. Here's Moore. He's rolling to his left side. Zings one outside. That's number 80.
He had that big play earlier.
To Josh Moore. That's his name. We've named number 80.
We got him.
It was a goal of mine. We did not get him on the roster. It's Josh Moore. He's taller than me, which most people are. I'm 5'9", but
I'm right there with you.
He's taller. He's a tall receiver. He's athletic. We saw him make a big play, and that might be even bigger right there, picking up that first down. Tick-tock goes the clock. Moore has options here. Great throw. Great catch. Great execution. Here's Moore throwing again. And this one's going to be thrown for a loss.
John Hardin right to the ball.
Moore's pass is complete to Love.
Tossed to Love outright. Fooled nobody.
2nd and 15.
Got to be careful with that football. When you're flinging it out there into the flat, if that's a backwards toss, it's a live football.
Right, you can get that ball up, and John Hardin all of a sudden is back in the ball game.
You can light up that receiver and make it a live football. So nice job by Starks to catch the football, first of all. Not saying it was a backwards pass, but the result of the play was a loss. Josh Moore on the left, not picked up by any receivers. Here's Moore running the football, keeps it, zings it, connects.
This kid is feeling it.
I think this one's coming back, holding.
Oh, that's
There was a
heartbreak.
reason he got free of the pass rush. That, take away the penalty. that had the elements of a couple of guys that if they can make that connection happen throughout the season, look out. That was good stuff.
That was good stuff.
That was big-time football right there. But right now they got a big-time gain to require to pick up a first down. Got to be smart with the football. No need to be hucking it downfield or anything just yet. You got multiple plays, but we're at 2nd and whoa again.
2nd and a mile, and you don't have to do anything crazy if you're the Trojans here.
Moore in the pistol.
To see if you can gain some of it back.
Here he goes. He knows he's got a receiver again and overshoots the other Moore. That one could have got a whole bunch of that yardage back in one catch, but 3rd and 30 the play here. The key is to be smart.
Definitely.
A smart play here. Passing game is so close to being amazing for this North Hardin team. They just got to work out a couple of things in practice. They are so close.
If they get execution down, it's going to be a scary year for their opponents.
They have just missed on a few. Not afraid to throw the rock. Zings it right, and this one's picked off. What did I just say about you don't want to be crazy here? John Hardin has been set up with another opportunity to get back in this football game.
That's just the way this game is going. You don't – just when you think that maybe North Hardin's going to put it away, John Hardin comes up with a big interception. This game is not over yet.
3rd and 30, I might have called a draw play there and taken my lumps and punted the ball and hoped that my defense continued to play well. I don't have a problem with the team taking an aggressive shot there, but you got to execute. If coach calls that play, you got to throw the football to a receiver, not to a guy with the other jersey.
Right, that's the wrong
And
color
I'm not
jersey.
trying to be Captain Obvious here, but how many opportunities is John Hardin going to get in this football game and not capitalize? This has possibly been their best bailout option here.
They've got
There
to
we
make
go.
something
Tosses
happen.
outside into the flat right. Around the outside, that's Livers.
Livers on the catch. Isaiah Baker on the tackle.
Short gain. I don't want to it's not my position to criticize anything, shape, or form. Just observe and comment. But John Hardin's had some opportunities in this football game to tie it up. And they haven't taken that first step. Let's see if they can get on the board here.
This is going to be crucial to the end of this game. You only
2nd
got
and
8
7.
minutes left.
2nd and 7. Let's see what North Hardin does. Let's see if they keep rushing their 4 big guys and dropping back in coverage. They've pretty much negated John Hardin's spread offense style. Okay, this is Witherspoon with the football, cops it up, and North Hardin stops another opportunity.
Wow. Cowbells are going. They're liking it. Mistakes have killed John Hardin tonight.
Well, when John Hardin takes a short bus ride home after this football game, regardless of the outcome, they're going to talk about some of the opportunities they had in this game and did not take advantage of. And that has been their storyline.
Way too many points left on the field.
On the other hand, taking a look at North Hardin, bouncing back from losing, being on the wrong side of a score against a great Bowling Green team, coming out and playing some football, maybe playing against a great football team like the Purples has inspired them to come out and play like them. Because given a few mistakes on the football field, North Hardin's played good football tonight.
They have, and it's to come back from that loss last week and to take that and learn from it. It's early in the season still. They could be impressive this year.
I mean, we're talking. There's been some passing plays that have been inches away from being amazing tonight that just haven't happened. So you can see as this team develops, they could be a serious threat to put up some huge offensive numbers.
Starks on the carry.
John Hardin is not a slouchy defensive team. They make big plays. We saw it earlier. We saw Livers come up with a red zone interception that
We just saw it just now. The interception a
kept
minute
them
ago.
in the ball game. Take Stephen Livers out of this football game, where are they at?
That's a good point.
Milking the clock, 3rd and 3. I expect nothing but a run here, but hey, expect the unexpected.
In this game, you can't expect anything.
I'm pretty sure John Hardin's going to be set for that stuff up the middle. There we go. It's a simple run up the middle, and they're going to be short. Starks can come about a yard and a half short. I don't expect anything fancy here.
Officials timeout for measurement.
Measure the ball, but I don't think they're going to get it to him.
We saw North get a punt block of their own earlier. Changed the momentum of this game, but they didn't capitalize on it. Could John Hardin put some pressure on a punt? I think we're going to see a measurement here and see how close this really is. I mean, it's a little closer. It's a lot closer than I gave it credit for. How about that? It's a first down.
They gave it to him. Wow.
First down, Trojans.
I think if you're John Hardin, you don't like that spot one bit. That's not really where I saw that play end, but
That's what I was saying. Very favorable spot.
I had him making contact with the ground about a yard back from there. That's a big one right there. Instead of having to punt the football away, North Hardin's thinking about how they're going to tick some more clock off. Starks in the backfield. Look for him to get the handoff. Moore, not really the running threat. He runs when he's in trouble when he's trying to pass, but he's not the triple threat that Witherspoon showed us earlier in the football game.
Right, Moore.
Here's Starks. Takes it right up the middle. The safe play is going to take some time off. Starks makes something out of nothing. Picks up a gain of 8.
Gain of 8. Ty Nelson on the tackle.
Yeah, they're just going to keep that up. And they should.
The battle in the trenches has been key. I tipped the scale toward John Hardin early because those big guys have been doing a pretty darn good job. You haven't seen a whole lot of real estate given up the middle. They've been earning it. But when it comes down to the end of the football game here, North Hardin's line is making it happen. Watch the point of contact and see who's pushing who in what direction. Moore takes every second off the clock like a boss. Gives the ball inside to Starks. Starks a little bit more experience handling the football than our freshman Lavelle Wright. A good coaching move there. Sometimes you want the guy with a little more experience, a little more savvy. He's not nervous. Just slowly matriculating the ball down the field.
Oh, yeah.
All you need is 3 1/3 yards and 1 inch on every play.
It's
You will.
simple mathematics.
There you go. 3 1/3 yards and 1 inch. That'll get you that first down. Might need to measure, and that brings the fun back to football. An interesting note, okay, we're going to see Starks up the middle, another gain, 8.5, call it 9 yards. An interesting flashback to this football game is it's a 2-score game. Go back to that interesting play where on a North Hardin fumble, where it appeared their quarterback was sacked. Seconds after the play, somebody ended up with the football in North Hardin's hands and took it to the house.
Heads to the end zone.
As player personnel was changing, all kinds of things are going on. Guys are coming onto the field. Now, we don't have the blessing of instant replay in high school sports. Can't really rewind that one, but that's one that when I watch the replay of of this broadcast, I'm going to want to take a look at and see what I missed, because I think everyone was fooled, including the officials on that one.
And that was a huge momentum turn right there. And that, like I said, that could have been, or I guess that was what changed this game around.
While we've got a timeout, this is an HCEC-TV student production, it's a division of Hardin County Schools. Special thanks to our live sports coverage sponsors, Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, eTownApartments.com, Bluegrass Cellular, eTown Exterminating, and West Point Bank. And I want to thank John Schartzer for being part of the broadcast today. John.
Pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to this season. This is
5 minutes left to play. We got things could happen, and stuff.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
Some Walking Dead fans going to hear
Something
us,
like
and
that.
they're going to be excited.
Slight twist on the quote, but you got me. You caught me there. 2nd and 4. I'm looking for a simple run up the middle. Tick-tock, tick-tock goes the clock. Here we go. Starks.
Starks on the carry.
Denied the first down, but hey, keeps his hands on the ball and that clock moving.
Exactly. Keep the ball moving. Just take everything you can away
A
from John
bold
Hardin.
and daring move here when you got the ball in the opposing territory is that play action pass that puts this game away. Could we see such fun? I don't know. Could happen. But the safe move is to run the ball twice up the middle.
Right.
Even on fourth down. Because punting in high school sports, all kinds of fun can happen to the punting game. It's not a gimme.
Especially in this game.
Here we go. Here's a quick toss outside. A lot of people thinking that the
Gonna
run was
get it.
coming up the middle. And all right, I like it. Not play action, but it's a first down.
Move the chains if they wanted to do.
Move the chains.
Witherspoon on the tackle.
Mentioned earlier, today's broadcast is a student production. The director of today's production is Dale Mings. The technical director, C.J. Carroll. Cameras are being manned by Gabe Stolkup and Trey Hightower. Thanks, guys, for making this happen so John and I can talk about football.
Yeah, these guys are really making this thing happen for us. We're doing the fun part.
We're just looking at it, at this unfold. If this was a story, if I read the storyline of this football game, I would tilt my head a little bit and scratch it.
Yeah,
For a rivalry game, we got some stuff to talk about.
Third and 10.
this has definitely been an interesting game. This has been. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say the best game, but it's been an interesting game.
I'm going to need more information on a couple things that took place right in front of my eyes to see if I missed the obvious. Normally, I count on the good folks in the News Enterprise. I'm going to give them a plug. I get a whole lot of my information about these games ahead of the game from the News Enterprise, and I thank people like Chuck that know these players inside and out. They'll get the lowdown, and they'll tell us all about it, so I'm going to read about it tomorrow. Here we go. Toss outside left to Bankhead.
Pass is complete to Bankhead.
Bankhead, exciting football player like his brother.
7. 4th and 3. 4th and 4.
Here we go. I talked about this, John, and I don't, this isn't punt territory because you have a chance to win the football game with a first down here. If anything, we talk about that hard count. It's my favorite play. If you're an aspiring coach out there and you have a 4th and less than 5 in a key situation of the game, just go out there and bark. If you're going to punt anyway, what difference is it if it's 4th and 4 or 4th and 9? Instead, he's just going to let the clock tick.
Timeout, Trojans. Their first timeout.
They're going to blow a timeout. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't.
Here you go. We've had some interesting stuff happen on punt and kicks. So I think Coach wants to talk with his players, make sure everybody's not making some fundamental mistakes.
Let's keep everybody on the same page. Calm the nerves down. We got 3.5 minutes left, just shy of 3.5 minutes.
Oh wow! Hey, I want to give some sponsor shouts, as many as I can, before this is done, because without sponsors, no broadcast. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. They've got locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville. Find them online at physicaltherapyky.com. It's dark. It's almost the end of this football game, but
You never know.
We opened this football game with back-to-back kickoff returns. I haven't seen that in a long time, and it might have been Pee Wee football when I saw it happen, where nobody can tackle each other.
Again,
and each team has one kid that just dominates. But yeah, it's been a while. I have not seen a football game open like that, and so we kind of thought maybe it might have been a barn burner. Instead, it's just we've checked off the bucket list about anything you can encounter in a football game, like no safeties. We have not had a safety. We had
a
variety of turnovers. Even had block punt, block kick.
Interceptions, fumbles.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bad snap. Almost blocked. Gets away. A good kick. That's Ruggiero. He's a fantastic kicker.
I think it's the first punt we've seen all night that bounced and wasn't touched.
It was the first punt we've seen tonight that wasn't touched after it bounced on the ground.
31 yards.
The kicking team just surrounded it, waiting for it to stop.
All right, so here you go. You're John Hardin. You've got a lot of ground to make up. You need 88 yards. You don't need it in one play. You have playmakers that can eat up real estate in big gobbles. So you got to work quick. You got to work smart. You can't make mistakes. If you're North Hardin right now, you're going to sit back and you're going to make a team make more plays. You don't want to give up a big play. So you stay back, you protect your areas, and you tackle the guys in front of you. No reason to be blitzing right now, any of that kind of stuff.
Right, just keep them out of the end zone.
Now, I'm not a fan of the prevent defense. That's just letting people get yardage. But You don't give up a big play. You make a team have to make 10 plays. And here's an attempt at a big play, and it falls just short. Not enough arm on the quarterback, and that's been the story tonight. Witherspoon has shown us he can get open.
Yeah, he had about 4 guys on him that time.
Anybody that's got John Hardin on the schedule needs to take note that Witherspoon can get open. He is getting separation now.
You got to think they've been game planning for this guy as a quarterback. And now you got to change everything you do.
Yeah. And you get used to maybe a guy that can make that toss, and then you have a guy come in and be your second-team quarterback that is throwing that football, and he's got to get the football out ahead of the wide receiver. Because Witherspoon had an opportunity to get 50 yards back or more there. Here we go.
Oh.
He's in trouble. Is that Octavius Oxendine? Nope, 64. Harper with the sack. 3rd and 17. John Hardin not picking up the yardage that they're looking for here.
Almost got that safety you were talking about.
I feel like I've summoned it. I feel like I've conjured up a safety just by talking about it.
The football
I'm
gods
not sure
are
what other things that we could possibly experience in today's game. John Hardin, 3rd and 17. They almost have to go for it after this if this doesn't work. Instead, they're going to have more life. A little pitch and catch. They are going to have to go for it. They need 2 touchdowns and 2 minutes to play, and timeouts aren't on their side either. So here we go. The football game is going to be summed up with this play right here. It's either going to be a victory for North Hardin or John Hardin's going to make this one exciting. A lot of time going by as they call this play.
Right, you don't want to run that clock
Only
down too much.
120 seconds left, and I've watched 15 tick off. It's early in the season, but as the season goes by, you know what play you're calling in this situation. Here we go. Pressure on the quarterback. Throws the football, floats one up, and a miraculous catch is made downfield.
41.
Darian Davis keeps his football team alive. That's going to be some video he wants to collect. Nice football right there.
That's the first time he called his name tonight, I believe.
Clock stops. It's back on now that they've set the football and moved the chains. Bulldogs not working quickly. Here we go, screen pass. It's into an unsung hero, and he's brought down like one. North Hardin. John Hardin. Only 70 seconds left in the football game. They have not called that play yet.
Not a lot of urgency by the Bulldogs
This
here.
is what happens when you have the non-starter in the football game. He's still going all the way to the sideline to get that call. You have to have a package in when you're trying to gain yardage quickly. Just throws one up.
Oh.
It's anybody's ball. Definitely had the arm that time. Lovejoy with good coverage, stride for stride with Witherspoon here.
I don't hate the play call, but I just don't understand the lack of urgency here to get things going.
You need 2 touchdowns, and I don't understand, like you said, with the clock moving, why you're not getting those plays called quicker.
Right. Again, this is a learning experience. They're gonna have to learn from this game and make sure that doesn't happen next time.
Here we go, 3rd and 7. Toss right, misses the receiver. Some of these guys are getting thrown to, we haven't said their name the whole game. I told you earlier, that's the way you got to do it. You got to find somebody that's not being double covered.
Right, when they've taken out your play.
Someone's double covered, someone's not covered.
Exactly, someone's got to be open somewhere.
North Hardin with a 2-score lead, wise to drop into coverage here. I don't expect to see them blitz or anything. And the last thing you want to do if you're North Hardin is commit any kind of penalty to keep this alive. Time is not working in John Hardin's favor. They're going to need a play here, and they're going to have to step it up. They're going to have to get the football back even after they score. So Let's see what happens here. Tosses the ball deep. Nobody is down.
Nobody's there. 41 here just appears to be he got jammed.
turnover and downs. We should see the victory formation for North Hardin. This has been a wild ride tonight. I've said it maybe 10 times, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to think about it on my drive home. As far as football games go, there's lots to talk about.
Yeah, there is. This has been the wildest game that I've seen in person probably my entire life, and it's a local high school game.
Oh, yeah.
Who would have known that? I've been to a lot of football games.
Well, there's a few guys that we can give a shout out to, and Josh Moore, the receiver, number 80, had a couple of magic receptions in big key moments in this football game. Was hurt for a while, but young man has an athletic build about him, and he's tall. And I don't know that a lot of guys are going to be able to cover a guy that's that kind of speed and athleticism. And I watched his routes he was running. Solid stuff right there. Give it up to Eric Moore, the quarterback. Hung in there, had some adversity early, made some mistakes in the red zone, had some stuff happen to him, but when it's said and done, he's on the right side of the scoreboard. And we got to give a shout out to Lavelle Wright, the freshman. Scored a touchdown, ran it with authority today, and that's the keys to it. For John Hardin, they got to think about the things they did in this football game that didn't allow them to win.
Right.
Whether it be choices made on play calls, whether it be execution on play calls,
mental errors
that caused penalties that allowed North Hardin to keep the football. John, your final thoughts tonight?
Not what I expected, honestly. John Hardin, like I said, there are a lot of mental errors. You know, I thought they would put up more of a fight than this. A wild game, but a fun game. But North and John both have playmakers that if they can get things going. Number 80, real quick, dare I say, reminds me of LaRod King, who played at North Hardin. Then went on to Kentucky. Tall receiver, fast, good hands. I like this kid.
Look, amazing plays today, and I'm going to take that away with me.